All right, hope everybody's doing well. Sorry I haven't been around lately. Yeah, real life and all that kind of stuff. But I'd also mentioned that broadcasts would be fewer for a while, or less, whichever, fewer or less. Anyhow, just going through our Discord, and Bernard, the man like me of many baseball sims, wanted to do a season replay on APPA, and wanted to understand the sort of how everything works together in APPA for baseball for Windows. So I thought I'd go over that. But first, I know that TexAgs wanted to know about old stadium images, old ballpark images for Action PC baseball. I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about. If he's talking about out of the park baseball, if you bought it through Steam, there's a mod in the Steam workshop called the Stadium mod, aptly named. That's made by Michael Silva. It has every logo and ballpark from 1901 to the present. I also strongly suggest getting the uniform mod as well. It's superb. For Action PC baseball, there's a number of places. The best one, though, that I would say, as far as if you're just trying to load up with some ballparks, and I'm going to bring this up here over on our happy little screen. It should come up for you in a second. Again, nobody here, but I'm hoping that Bernard and all those other folks will catch this after the fact. All right, so this is APC Community. It's apcsportscommunity.com. And we're in baseball here. So when we go up and mouse over baseball, you go to content and you go to images. Okay. And scroll down a little bit. I mean, there's tons of stuff here. Player photos, all that. But right here is the thing that I would strongly suggest that you go to. There's Arnold. Yeah, Arnold's just you and I right now, but thank you. All is pretty well with me. Thank you. Hope all is well with you, my friend. So a great starting point here is Lance Powers ballpark images. There's a ton of images on here. The other thing for Action PC Baseball is Steve Tate kindly, if you're a member of our Discord, he put up a zip file of his ballpark collection. So I know from this, what I've gotten from Steve from Clinton Parks, I know I have probably about 1,500 ballpark images, and I know that there's more out there. Another one that you can find, Lance Powers actually has a, if you're just looking for specific parks and you don't want to download this whole zip file, if you go to the Action PC forums, there's one called Name That Ballpark, and he kind of puts these ballparks up there and different versions of them and stuff, and that is great. Hey, there's Dwayne Martz. Sorry I haven't been around, Dwayne. I haven't been really even catching up with much of everybody's games. I've just been out of it. But hopefully we'll change that. So anyhow, it's apcsportscommunity.com. What I would do is just Google ballpark images for Action PC Baseball. You'll find Action PC Sports Community. Also, there's Negro League player photos. There's so much great stuff on this site. I wanted to also address a comment, and it was a nice comment, and then we'll get to baseball for Windows. Made by our good friend World's Worst Gamer. So he's pointed out some imperfections in out of the park baseball. And yeah, he's right. I don't think it's perfect, and I think he misheard me. I didn't say that I was going to keep playing the game despite him. No, I'm going to keep playing the game because there's not a perfect baseball simulation out there, and I don't care whether it's cards or dice, or I don't care if it's something like Diamond Mine Baseball, which is, widely considered the most accurate. I may debate that. I don't think it's any more. I mean, I think it's got a great engine, but my point is that if I want an accurate replay of a baseball game of a season, then you know what? I've said this before. I fire up Back to Baseball, and I can see it as it happened, or read it as it happened, or if I can put up with a Microsoft narrator, hear it. Then there's also that great baseball channel here, classic baseball on the radio. But I think that it's kind of to go in to a game to see it, and I know that he's not arguing for an exact replay. There's going to be anomalies. There's going to be anomalies. I don't care what game you're playing. I talk about cards and dice. Look at inside pitch and look how Robert's seasons ends up. The a lot of times the clubs in the World Series that he's doing in his season replays are not the ones who are in the World Series. So, I think it's something that I think Legends had said this, that he likes to, or it might have been a big clue to both of them. The idea of playing these things is rewriting, creating a baseball history, a different baseball history. And I mean, so one of the ones we're going to talk about here is APPA. I mean, APPA's been around since 1951, so 72 years. Must be doing something right. Stratomatic PC's been, or Stratomatic, not PC, but Stratomatic, right, has been around for 62 years. Again, these two games must be doing something right, and they're both very good baseball engines. Diamond Mine Baseball, grew out of cards and dice. Of course, so many of us play action PC baseball, out of the park baseball, what have you. PC Replay, which is really a direct translation of the board game. And I think that if people are, I think people, even when you do a season replay, you're still doing a what if. So what if I managed this team, or what have you? And I think I'm better suited to speak to digital baseball more than, because I haven't played cards and dice since I was an undergraduate. So no time in graduate school to play baseball games, that's for sure. So if I fire up Digital Diamond Baseball or Out of the Park, I'm not expecting. I'm not even upset if the stats are a bit off. I'm not. There are imperfections. You're dealing with huge databases. And I think that they're making strides. And I would rather play knowing that there's imperfections and knowing that my human input is going to make a difference. That I'm not Casey Stengel. I'm not John McGraw. I'm not Connie Mack. I'm not Joe Torre. I'm not Tony La Russa, whatever. And I accept that. If I wait for the perfect baseball simulation, I guess I'll never play baseball again. So there you go. But that's not an attack on World's Worst Gamer. I know that he has some issues with the AI in both Out of the Park and Action PC. Well, as a person who's intensely interested in artificial intelligence, it's not just confined to gaming. There's issues with artificial intelligence, and always will be, just as there are issues with human intelligence. Company managers make weird decisions. I bring up a lot about, Jim Leyland in the 1990 NLCS starting game, Ted Power, I think, at Game 3, because he once was a Cincinnati Reds pitcher and so knew the Cincinnati staff. And I think Ted Power lasted, 2-3 innings in that or something. I don't know. Didn't win, as we know. So I don't know, man. I don't really care. I'm enjoying baseball for the game. Do I want it to be way off? No. I don't. In Action PC Baseball, we did, one or two, just quick sims through the 1961 season. World's Worst Gamer saying, the Yankees doing badly. He's a Yankees fan. Well, I get it. I get the disappointment. But, to really, really see if there's a fault in the engine, we would have to do thousands. To see, how, as far as the accuracy of the engine. And I'm sure that these things do get tested. In fact, on Back to Baseball, you can pick any two teams in history and play them against each other, and it will run 5,000 simulations, show you the results as far as percentage of who's going to win out of those 5,000 games, a percentage of times. And it will show you the actual game results for its first 25. So there are ways to do it. Does that address the issues, the problems with integrating both an AI, and so I'll leave PC Replay Baseball out of this because it doesn't have an artificial intelligence. But Out of the Park does, Action PC does, Diamond Mine does. They all have artificial intelligences. So dealing with huge databases plus artificial intelligences, In my opinion, and again, not an attack on World's First Gamer, never, ever, ever. I think all of these games do well. Are some more accurate than others? Absolutely. But that being said, I am going to keep playing despite the inaccuracies or whatever. Hey, JT Dutch, it's been a while, man. Yeah, I haven't been around and been missing everybody. So, Bernard Stroum, now we'll get to the main part of this reason for this video, is he wants to do a season replay in APPA, Baseball for Windows, and wanted to understand how it works. So I've done a tutorial on this before, but again, things get lost, and why not keep it fresh? So Action PC Baseball, unlike other digital baseball games that I can think of, whether it's Digital Diamond, PC Replay, Out of the Park, Action PC, God forbid Strat PC, which no knock on Stratomatic, it's just the PC game needs some assistance, I think. All those games, everything is sort of self-contained, right? I mean, if I fire up Action PC right now, just as a quick sort of comparison, right? So I bring up Action PC Baseball, and no matter what season I do, and right now I'm doing something with oh yeah, the Baseball Classics, 1970s, right? And I was setting up logos, things like that. So from in here, there's so many things I can do. I can set up manager tendencies, or up here, right? Or I can set my lineups, my starters. Everything is all self-contained in this program, right? Up here, if I want to generate reports on players, games, or players, teams, games, league, like standings, whatever, I can do that. Streaks. So everything's self-contained. And I'm not going to fire it up, but I could do the same with Out of the Park Baseball. What makes Baseball for Windows a little more challenging is that it's modular. So I'll speak as a musician. There are different types of synthesizers. So the earliest synthesizers, if you look at like image or like videos of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and you see those huge Moogs with all the patch cables and stuff like that, those are called modular synthesizers because there were different modules that were put into these huge cabinets, and then you use patch cables to create sounds. And in fact, there are virtual emulations of those things, which I do. I actually have, the same Moog, the same thing that Keith Emerson has, had, rest in peace, except it fits on, my computer screen, but it's the same engine, same everything. So this is modular. So when you're playing Baseball for Windows, you'll see a little icon on your desktop to play Baseball for Windows, and you're thinking, okay, this is really, really cool. In fact, I'll show you what that looks like. Let me minimize this. So if I click this, right? So there it is. And it's like, and you're hearing the crowd now and everything. Oh, okay. So now I can kind of do everything here, right? Just like Action PC Baseball and Out of the Park. But you're starting to look and you're saying, well, wait a minute. This just has defensive managing options, offensive managing options. There are reports, but these reports are saying just full script and box score and instant replay. I can set my options, but where's all the stuff? How could I find out, for instance, if I was playing the Giants and Dodgers, well, how the Dodgers been doing in a season replay or a what if replay? You're not going to find it on the main game screen at all. I mean, you could click play ball and you can play a game, a series. If you click on league, right, it's going to bring up a league game, but that's all it's going to do. So that's not the starting point. So let's jump out of that and back into the infamous League Manager. Hey, Andrew, welcome in. For those of you that don't play APPA Baseball for Windows, maybe just chat some baseball. I'm doing this tutorial. I know that Bernard Stroum was interested in doing a season replay and wanting to understand how this works. So, Andrew, hope you're doing well. So, let's do this because there's lots going on. Now, even though this is modular, what's really, really, really cool about baseball for Windows is this. Is let's say right now, so I'm working on this, or I'm using this, I brought up this original franchise All Stars. This is a modification where every team has its own sort of all-time great franchise. So the St. Louis Browns have their own, the Baltimore Orioles have their own, the Brooklyn Dodgers have their own, and the LA Dodgers have their own. Giants, New York, San Francisco, and on and on and on, right? So if I'm working with this, and let's say I close this, right? I close this, and I want to go to Advanced Draft. So I fire up Advanced Draft, and as soon as I go to this, it's gonna show here the league that I'm working with, and I just open it, bam, right? And there it is, and I can open it. There's all the teams, there's all their rosters, and then this is the entire player pool in this thing here. And if you scroll down this, anybody that's in red will be on the right now. I have the Baltimore Orioles up. So anybody that's red is going to be on the team that's showing, which is really, really nice. Okay, this is where you begin your sort of season replay stuff. There he is. Out of the house, just saw this. Yeah, that's no worries, Bernard. I'm going to go ahead and continue, but definitely. All right. So, but how do we get to this point? Well, that's why I'm here. But let's talk about that modularity for a little bit. So let's say that I want to do a season replay. And actually, I am doing one on here, 1949. But let's just start from scratch. And let's do, why not? One of the most played ever. So I already have these installed. I'm not going to go into how to install seasons. That's pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to go to 1975 replay. So we're going to pretend that Bernard is going to replay the 1975 season and the Red Sox. He's going to take them to the World Series, hopefully, and they're going to beat the Cincinnati Reds. All right, so we bring this up, and first thing that you'll notice in this window is that none of the teams have nicknames. None of them. You will see nicknames in APPA for teams that are defunct. So if we were doing 1922, for instance, it would say St. Louis Browns because that name isn't protected by Major League Baseball anymore. Okay, so let's start this. All right. So this is assuming a season replay, which is what we want to do. So it's going to show we have 2 leagues, 4 divisions of 24 teams. So we double click, and here's all our teams, right? And if we double click again, here's everybody on the Baltimore Orioles roster, right? For Bernard, here we go. There's Carlton, Fisk, Blackwell, McCarver, Merchant, Montgomery, Cooper, everybody in the 1975 Red Sox. Here they are. Now, when you're setting up a season replay, you do have to tell Baseball for Windows whether you want the player's combined stats or whether you want the player to be on the first team he played for that team that season, or when he played like at season's end. So if I was doing 1979, for instance, I would put Tim Foley on the Pirates. Now you can have it do transactions. You can do that. There's like a transaction manager. I don't really mess with it because I don't really care about strict season replays. Okay, so next thing that we want to do is team nicknames. Well, actually, we want to just create. Hopefully, you guys can still hear my mic. So what we're going to do here is we're going to Control R. And we're going to rename this to the American League. Okay, I'm not going to do this for everything, but just so you guys know. All right, there we go. And now when I click that, it's American League. Okay, and then East, West, and then right down here we're going to click. Whoops, we're not going to click on that. That's just going to show. We're going to do this. Control R, and of course this is the National League. You name it whatever you want, but if you're doing a season replay. It will always have the American League on top and the National League on bottom. Always. Okay. You can rename all of these things. Now, how to rename? Again, I'm going from nuts and bolts here. Nuts and bolts. All right. Go to Baltimore. You can either right-click and do rename Baltimore, or you can see here Control R. That's your short. That's your hotkey, whatever. So Control R. So Baltimore. Now you can go to a list if you want. And what's nice about this, especially if you're playing like a pure draft league where you want to use fictional names but real players, this shows every team name, nickname, city, everything that Ernie Harwell actually says in the broadcast. Okay, but we're not going to do that. We know they're the Baltimore Orioles. So we just type it in. For teams like the New York Yankees, New York Mets, and the Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox, down here under initials, these have to be unique. So I'll show you what we do with that. Okay, so when we click this, we see now it's the Baltimore Orioles. A nice little reminder that you've done things is up here under status. It just says changed. So that tells you don't forget to save. Because if I were to exit out of this right now, right, no more Baltimore Orioles. So then just down arrow or click, Control R. This is really kind of a fast process. Tab over, Red Sox, click OK. We got the Red Sox. But let's skip ahead to Chicago. Okay, this is Chicago White Sox. Now, you'll see what's interesting here. I may get an error. Let's see. So I'm going to leave CHI, and if I click OK, there, it says unique team initials are required. And the reason is because it's also the abbreviation for Chicago Cubs is CHI. So all you do here is just add a W. In the old game, capital W, in older versions of Baseball for Windows, you have to put CHC or CHW. So, but whatever. So there. Okay. And now I can leave the Chicago Cubs. If I click on them, I can just leave the Chicago Cubs as CHI if I wanted to. I don't have to put in anything unique for them because I've already taken care of that with the White Sox. All right. And that's going to be the same for New York, for the Yankees, and for the Mets. Let's go ahead and we're just going to save the data disk. Okay. So now when I close out of this, the Baltimore so these these four changes that I've made will stick. None of these other teams yet. No nicknames. All right. So this is real basic league setup. You can also do trades, and we'll show you that. Like I'll show you that right now. So let's go to the White Sox, and let's say maybe we want to trade Lamar Johnson or transfer him. So we can just transfer. We can move him, whatever. We can also edit him, by the way. This is something that a lot of people don't realize, and I should do a little tangent here really quickly with Out of the Park Baseball, or with Baseball for Windows. You can actually adjust stats if you're not agreeing with stats or whatever. You can do that, and then the much like Action PC Baseball, the ratings are derived from the APPA formula and derived from stats. So if you wanted to, the only thing that you cannot do is kind of create, like if I wanted to create, I'm always picking on Robbie Wartburg. I can't create Robbie Wartburg. There used to be a program called Wizard that allowed you to do that. That's not available. You can find it on the internet, but you got to run it in a virtual machine. Okay. Exactly. JT saying that none of the sims except Out of the Park have official team nicknames. The only other game that has that license is MLB The Show. That is it. Yeah. Yes, this still is available for purchase, and it's available as a digital download. It's $28. And if you get it, Andrew, let me know, and I'll fix you up with some stuff. Caveat, ballparks are a real pain. So if you guys, anybody, you get this game, you want some ballparks, I'll get you some ballparks too, because this is not easy like Action PC Baseball to do your own ballparks. It's crazy hard, actually, to make your own ballparks in this. So I wouldn't. All right, now, we were talking about advanced draft. It's not going to mean much anything right now because we haven't played any games, but I do want to show you something. Now, we have 1975. With Baseball for Windows, I can't open another module while one's open. I can't. So I have to close this, and then if I bring up, that was advanced draft, if I bring up Statmaster, and if I just click on this little manila folder, look what comes up. 1975, and you can see here Baltimore Orioles, Red Sox, White Sox, and Cubs. But I can click OK here. Okay, no games have been played for the organization. Please make another selection. All right, so let's go to one where there has been some games played, just to show you how Statmaster works. So Statmaster is sort of like, let's go to a season where I played some more games. One game isn't going to quite do it, is it? Let me see how many we played here on the original. Oh, jeez, trying to find one. 1949. I have a 1949 replay going, just so you guys can see how this thing works. Okay, so there's been some games played. All right. So nothing's happening yet because this is where all the reports are generated. So just like you have at the top, the top of the screen in Action PC where you can generate reports, you also have a thing called the encyclopedia. This is the baseball for Windows equivalent of the Action PC Baseball Encyclopedia. So if we wanted to go to reports, we can go for an organization, standard reports, and we're going to do it for 1949. And then we can select what do we want here. So we can do club scoring, batting, pitching, fielding. So let's just do, we can pick as many as, you can pick all of these if you want. Okay. But let's just say club scoring, and let's just display that. And there we go. Now we get this nice little club, how Boston has done in terms of runs, first inning, second inning, all the way up in extra innings, things like that. How many runs opponents scored against them by inning. Okay. So, and you can leave these windows open and just do a bunch of, you could compare two season replays against one another if you wanted to by selecting a different data disk. This will stay open. So if I would select another one and I wanted to compare, I could. So that's really, really nice that you can sort of jump between seasons on the same screen. So while Baseball for Windows is modular in what it does, once you're in these modules, then you have options like crazy. Okay. So we can go to organizational team reports and go here. Again, let's go to club batting, club pitching, display. There you go. That's every club. It's brought up every club. And it's usually why you probably just want to pick one, but you can do lots of comparisons, contrasts, and then have fun, just like in the old days, thinking you had a Windows virus. I don't recommend that you actually do what I just did, but you could. You could do that if you wanted. But just to show you that while in some cases it's clunky, you can actually get pretty deep with this as well. But everything remains open, right? So let's go to, let's do select a league, and we can select, again, selecting any league, so we're just going to do this one. Let's do custom leaderboards. All right. Now, this is where you get really, really deep. Hey, Steve, sorry I've missed you past few days, man. I've just been out of it. Really, really sorry. I know we got some head-to-head, and we will get there on Action PC Baseball. I know that the Shanks League is coming up. Legend Sports Universe is here. The World Series starting on his channel. So, going to be more watching and enjoying some baseball than playing. So, yeah. Anyhow, good to see you guys. All right, continuing with Bernard's sort of tutorial on this to show him how Statmaster works. So we're pretending that, we'll pretend this is 1975, all right? But down here, there's a whole ton of stats. You can see here, that's a lot. Now again, with Action PC Baseball, you can also define your own. This you can't, but this really does a lot, okay? So maybe I want to do most hit by pitch in this. and it's done by players, so just display, and there we go. Um, we can see there's been um, what do we have here? I don't know, six hitters hit by pitch, only one so far. In this 19, this is 1949, so this is 1949. Okay, we can right, maybe instead I want to pick, right, who's doing hits. I can display in hits. There we go. These are the leaders in hits. Just that easy. And then I can select a new league. So let's say I was doing 1949 and 1950, and I wanted to track how a player was doing from season to season. All I would have to do is select, if I had it installed, which I do, but I'm not going to, but bring up 1950 and then run this report, and it will show for 1950, and then I can compare 1950, 1949. So that's really, really nice. Again, just like any Windows, you've got to close things. I don't want to go too much longer. It's only a half hour. One of the best features for baseball, with Baseball for Windows, I cannot stress enough, is it has we talk about Action PC's manual. Action PC's manual is it's okay. I wish Dave would let me rewrite it in consultation with Steve, because there's a lot that it doesn't explain. This game explains everything. Everything. It's got a search function. It's got, just look at the contents. How do I, right? So you can just go to here. Well, how do I change Statmaster preferences, right? And each module has its own help section, and it's exhaustive. It's exhaustive. So if you ever get lost in this, just there you go. So there we have what's platoon rating mean? When you look at a player's card, what does that mean? You get everything explained here, and then hyperlinks to other things here. Batting characteristics, pitcher's grade, all that stuff. What does that mean? Anything you want to hear. What's this one here that we're bringing up here? I have no ideas. Oh, runner's pickoff. Display. The pitcher catches it with a perfect throw, he's awarded one runner pickoff, and so on and so forth. So don't forget this brilliant, brilliant help system. Okay, now that we've done that, this is where it starts getting a little bit crazy. But have fun with this. This is really, really fun. You can, just whatever. Let's click this. And, you can come up to how are teams versus teams going, and zap, it's going to do all that stuff, okay? And the reason for all this breakdown is for easy comparisons. Is at one time, this program also allowed you to import any season or any player using the Ballpark Encyclopedia. Now, if you have an earlier version of this, or if you can find an earlier version for this, and if you go on to Digital Skybox, if you look around, you will find an ISO image of the Ballpark Encyclopedia. I have the original. I've seen it for sale a couple times on eBay, and people that have it, including myself, won't part with it. It's literally, I've seen that thing go for $200-300. But with that, you pretty much are limitless in what you can do with this game. But with 5.75, so that it could run on modern 64-bit systems, some things were taken out, right? Miller Associates kind of gave away, right? Because all these baseball games, right? You make your money selling seasons, whether it's cards or dice or digital. At least that was the old paradigm. Until Out of the Park Baseball came along, and some other ones, and kind of blew that away. Digital Diamond being another example. But so some features were removed, but APPA, in their coolness, created the migration tool. And the migration tool is really nice, because for those of us who have had the game for a long, long time, or what have you, you can migrate any season you have into 5.75, which means if you do your homework and you have a virtual machine, create seasons in the encyclopedia, and you can import them right into here, and then once you do that, you can do whatever you want with them. So it was really cool on APPA's part to do that. I don't imagine Strat PC would ever do that in a million years. All right, now let's get to the big daddy here, the big daddy of them all. And you can see now this came right up to our 1949 replay. Even though I didn't have this module open, they do talk to one another. So I can look at all these scores, double click, see box scores, and everything of every game, which is real nice. But we're doing, what, 1975 for Bernard. So how do you set up a season? All right, here we go. There's Robbie. The encyclopedia, Andrew, goes back to 1871. 1871. And it goes up to 1997. So it's a lot of baseball to play. All right. So I'm going to show you just a bit on how to set this up. So we're going to open 1975. It will remember the last 5 that you've opened. So I just go down here. There's 1975. All right. And you've got tons of stuff going on here. Tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. And again, there's an index here, a great help, and a common question sections, which is really, really good. This game really overloads you with information, so don't be afraid to use it. All right, now first thing is we've got to create a schedule. There's 2 ways to create a schedule. If you are strictly as played, what I would suggest is getting a CSV file and import it into this game. Digital Skybox has as played schedules that will work in this format. I think RetroSheet works in here as well. But Digital Skybox for $24, there are literally thousands of micromanagers for this game. There's a nice spate of ballparks that you can get. All kinds of really neat stuff on there. There's some good Negro Leagues on there, and some minor league stuff and everything. So Digital Skybox, really, really, really cool stuff. If you're going to play this game, I think you should have it. Again, the amount of managers for this game is insane. I don't know how many I have. I've only installed maybe a handful, but there are literally thousands of managers, micromanagers for this game. It gets very deep. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is go to Schedule and AIM Rules. And do you want it to be a preseason? You can just set it up regular season, quarterfinals, semifinals, or a World Series. How many games per team? Well, we're going to leave it 162. All right. We're not going to be MV and have interleague play in 1975. Well, he has it in 1982. So we're going to leave this unchecked, right? Just going to leave this unchecked. All right. Now, this is super, super important when you're running AI managers, is this middle thing. Okay, and again, I just remind you, there's a help screen. And you don't feel like sitting through this, you buy the game. There it is. You really can't get lost. It's a lot of reading. So you should at least set a level of, it's called Advanced Injury Management, AIM. So you should at least set at least fatigue only, if not more. I like to do game injuries and fatigue. If you do all injuries and fatigue, it will. The players will be out with the flu, whatever. I usually play with game injuries and fatigue. All right. Pitcher durability and recovery, you can set right here. So this is kind of a normalization for pitchers. You can set it for that. We're in 1975. I'm Bernard. I'm doing a 1975 replay. I'm going to leave this at late 20th century. Miscellaneous. Am I going to let the AIM do auto substitutions? If I uncheck this, right, or auto sub platoon, which I don't like platooning, so, but if I uncheck this before the game starts, it's going to say, oh, so-and-so is out, who do you want to replace? So if you want a little bit hands-on, check this, but remember, this is going to do this for every team, okay? Pause pre-game if the starting pitcher is available, tired, bushed, worn out, and itchy. So what AIM does, this isn't just for pitchers, but also for position players as well. The engine will look at the play, and if the player hasn't played for a while, um, you might want to put him in the game because it does affect his effectiveness. There we go. Effect. Yeah, it affects his effectiveness. Um, Sometimes in a deleterious manner, but sometimes in a positive manner. Same thing with your pitcher. Um, so it will let you know, just like Action PC Baseball, where you can start a pitcher on short rest, you can do it here. You can just have it let you know. I usually leave these unchecked. I don't really want to bother with it. Okay. So you would think, oh, great, got my schedule all set up. And the start date, of course, you can set back to April. Right. So I don't remember when the season started in 1975. So let's just say probably April 5th. I don't know. Doesn't matter. And then put in 1975. Oh, there we go. So, all right. So we're going to click OK, but we still don't have a schedule. We still don't have a schedule, even though we've set up our rules. Okay. So we're not going to add games. We're not going to do any of this stuff. Down here's the next. We can either generate a schedule, and this schedule generator, I wish my big knock on Action PC Baseball, my only big knock is the schedule generator. It sucks. There's no other way to put it. Yeah, hope you're well too, Robbie. It's been a while. Glad your Rangers are doing well, buddy. All right, so go and get, right. I mean, so Steve Tate has a brilliant, elegant workaround for doing schedules in Action PC Baseball. Love it, right? So let's say you were doing 19, and you could just bring in a schedule from another year. So like when he's doing like some of his what ifs, he can just grab a schedule as long as those team names are there, city names, boom, it works, right? But if you just want to generate a 162 game schedule on that thing, and let's say you want to have interleague play or you didn't, or how many teams in divisional play, this does it really nicely. So let me show you. So we go to generate new schedule. All right. And this, until you get used to it, I always say use the help screen on this because it's going to ask you some questions, right? First, we do want it a professional style of schedule, okay? Do you want to put no double headers? Do you want an all-star break? Well, yeah, we do want an all-star break, but I'm going to leave no double headers unchecked. I have never checked that box. Okay, we want day and night games because it's 1975. Teams per game 162. No interleague play, but you can turn it on. You can turn it on for 1882 in this game if you want. All right, there's Aaron Reed. I know this is boring stuff, but I'm hoping it will help anybody interested in this game. But again, I could have just said go look at the help file, but I don't want to be a dick like that. Now, here we go. Unless you know off the top of your head, the next thing it's going to ask you is league games versus each team in other divisions. And you notice there's all zeros here. And then division games versus each team in the same division. So it needs to plug these numbers in to be able to generate the schedule. And you're thinking, that sucks. What am I going to do? Bust out my calculator? Or am I going to be, smart guy like Steve and Big Clue and well, all you guys in here who probably don't suck at math, I do. So, yay, help screen. And then come down here, generated schedule setting. Yeah, get generated schedule setting suggestions. Right? Boom. Click on this and look what you get here. This nice little table. And all you got to do is plug in these numbers here. Okay? So, what do we have here? We have 2 leagues, I believe. Yep. 14. I forget what it was in 1975. What was it here? I'd have to count it up. But right here it is. This is how you set up your schedule. Okay. 24 teams. 12 teams per league. 2 divisions, 6 teams per division. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the one we want. So for league games versus each team in other divisions, I want to put in a number 12. So let me move this off of here. All right. And we're going to put 12 and 12. Okay. And then yank this back over here again. And I see here that I want division games versus each team in the same division has to be 18 games. So all these four are just going to be 18. And again, it's right in the help file. You don't have to even remember it. It's there. Or just import the actual 1975 schedule. It is on Digital Skybox. Okay? How many days do you want the All-Star break? I don't know, 5. There we go. Do what you want. Click OK, and voila, there's the schedule. That's it. It has just generated an entire 162 game schedule. It is not the as played schedule. So why do I know this besides I just did it? But let's say somebody sent me a league file and I'm like, what? Because it's not showing who the pitchers are. The pitching rotations will be set by the AI, and we'll get into that next in ballpark assignments and things like that. But when you see question mark versus question mark, that shows me that's not an as played schedule. An as played schedule, or if somebody set it up, right? Like, so in that OFAS4, let me save this organization and I'll show you what I mean. If I bring up this thing that I've been playing, you can see here that, and actually, boy, if I felt like running this game, I would. We got a good game coming up with the, with the Yankees and Baltimore Orioles. Ron Guidry and Jim Palmer. What a nice matchup that is, huh? So, but anyhow, back to 75. So it's generated a schedule. Now, the next thing is, there's no managers. There's no managers. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. If you want to just manage one team, which I usually don't do when I do a season replay, I like to pick a couple teams like you guys see I'm doing with 1934, Cardinals, Giants, Tigers, and the Pirates. So I like to kind of, and then let everybody else play each other. It doesn't really matter to me, right? So then our next thing is going to be if we go to rules. All right, so we go to rules for organization. Okay, this is nice. If you're managing, there's a timer, which you guys have seen me when I play on here. I just let CPU versus CPU. But when you're managing, and let's say somebody is rounding third, if you set this, you have, it's still an eternity, longer than any Major League manager has. You have 10 seconds to decide at the highest difficulty. Semi-pro is 15 seconds. Amateur, you have 20 seconds to decide where that runner is going to go. Do you want DH? Yes or no? Well, there was a DH, unfortunately. So, yeah, I guess there would be a designated hitter. Okay. But actually, I don't want it here. I don't want to put designated hitter here. I want to make sure that I get this just for the American League. So leave this off for right now. Go off you. So this is where you set all this stuff. Do you allow bunting for hitting? Well, of course you probably would. All this stuff. Do what you want. Enable ballpark effects. So if you get ballparks that come with this game, all but one of them have ballpark effects enabled. Or have ballpark effects. You can choose not to have ballpark effects, but if you do, turn them on. Do I know based upon what season? Does it get that granular like Action PC Baseball? To my knowledge, it does not. So, but it does take into account things like weather effects and things like that. Okay. So, but anyhow, this schedule set up, you can choose what you do and go from there. Okay. So we get down here to National League. Let's do the rules, league rules. So there's American League. Okay. Since I'm up here in the American League, so let's turn on the designated hitter for American League. We're going to leave everything else alone. Okay. So now the American League has DH. How do I get that in the National League? This is a little bit counterintuitive. When you're working over here, when you're working with organizations, leagues, just click here, right? Go up to rules, and now you will see for National League, and when I click that, you'll see designated hitter is not selected. Okay? And I'm leaving this as professional, it doesn't matter. So we have a DH here and no DH here. What are we going to do next? Well, we're going to go back up here, and we're going to do team home field. and this is where we're going to start doing. You could even, if you wanted to, and you did a what if league and you set it up in divisions, you could set rules down to the division level. Well, I want the Steve Tate East League to have a designated, or East Division to have designated hitter, but the West Division not have a DH or what have you. Okay. So you can do, again, there's rules for game, and again, showing American League. Okay. But now I want to assign Baltimore's ballpark. So pretty simple. Team home field, Baltimore Orioles. Now, you could do home fields all teams and do it this way if you want as well. So there's Baltimore Orioles, right? And then, but I like to do them one at a time. Okay, so there's Baltimore Orioles, but I'll just show you. And yeah, I got a ton of ballparks for this thing. Don't have everything, but I have enough for now. All right, so Memorial Stadium, boom, right? And then just assign, and it's assigned. And if I just click OK right here, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is just click down, so then we know Boston's going to play Detroit. So you have the team name and all the way across. I could just do rules, team home field just for the Red Sox, and then this brings up this little thing here. So there's always two ways to do things in this. Fenway Park, and I have a couple different Fenway Parks, but we'll just leave this one for 1975. Click OK, and Fenway is assigned. That's how you assign ballparks. Two ways to do it. Now, managers. Managers. Okay? Managers are going to be under lineups. So you can set manager mode for all teams or manager all teams. So let's just do manager mode all teams. If you do this manual, that means that every game that you start up the way I do it, that means that you can choose the game that's being played and choose whether you want to manage it or you want the computer to manage both, or you're managing against computers. That makes sense? So you can manage against yourself, kind of like you'd be playing cards and dice. All right. If I select this to auto, then every team is going to be auto managed by a manager. Okay. I don't suggest you do that. Just leave it as manager. But if you do auto, you can come down here and just even up the field and say, well, I just want to have, Tony La Russa manage everybody. All right. I don't suggest doing that. I like to leave things at manual. Okay. Cancel. And let's go to AIM, or is it AIM? This is where it gets weird. This is the one thing. There you go. You have to, this is the one exception, and this probably does explain it in the manual. So don't get turned off by this bit. Everything else you're working in this grid except for managers. So if I want to set Baltimore's manager, I'm going to double click and I'm going to come down here, and I do believe I have Earl Weaver actually installed. Yeah, there he is. And then I click OK, and there we see his name. So we have Baltimore, Earl Weaver, and then it's Ballpark. And that's how you know you have everything set to go. So if I were to right now select play manual game, all right, it's going to come up with this. Well, it's going to be Texas and Baltimore. Baltimore is automatically going to be managed by Earl Weaver. Okay. And you also notice what happened. So, pardon you guys know all about my icons. Right? You'd think, oh, geez, league manager closed. No, it didn't. It just minimizes. In fact, it'll remind you, if you have a game, it'll remind you got to close this or that. It won't let you hanging. It won't leave you hanging. So again, let's go down to Boston. All right. So for Boston, again, I'm going to double click. You can set your own lineups if you want. All right. But here I want to select this manager mode to be auto, which I should have done with Baltimore. Okay, so we're just going to say Sparky Anderson. I know he was managing the Reds in 1975, so whatever. So we just put it there, and boom. Okay, and let's go back up and change Earl Weaver to. Oh yeah, I already did it. He's an auto manager. So now these two teams you won't be able to select as a manual game. Okay, let's say this organization, right? So we're still not done yet. We're still not done because these two are going to come up once everything is set. Play automatic games background and play automatic game spectator. Unless you want to listen to hours and hours and hours of baseball for Windows and you have insomnia and you want to leave it on all night, don't do this. But play automatic games background, do this. And actually, this replays a season faster than Action PC Baseball. This will fly through a season. It's crazy how fast it goes. Lewis's name is in the game. Check. So is Lasorda if you want to use him. Yeah, absolutely. Now, there was another utility that was out there that you could rename micromanagers. Again, you have to find it, use it on a virtual machine. Unfortunately, I don't think it will run on a 64-bit system, but if you go on Digital Skybox, you'll find everybody that's managed in the major leagues. So really no need to even do that. Okay, so we're going to go to Cleveland, and first, I don't know, I like to assign ballparks first. Again, what are the two ways to assign ballparks? Well, just what we did before, rules, team home field, all teams. We bring it up here, we go to Cleveland, and we're going to look for Municipal Stadium, or Cleveland Stadium, whatever the hell it's called in here. I have no idea. It's a lot of work, but it's no more work really than Action PC for setting up a season. So I'm just looking for something that says Cleveland. My eyes are so bleary, it's not even funny. So all these parks, these that say 1919, you can actually use these parks for anything pre-expansion, what have you. And they're pretty nice. They are pretty nice. So there we go, League Park. So I'm going to assign League Park to Cleveland. Okay. You know, and we can go on and on and on and on. I'm not going to. Okay. Let's click OK. And then for Cleveland's manager, I'm just going to select auto. I usually don't select auto. Here's why. Because of the way I play it. If you definitely know that you want, let's say you want to manage the Cleveland Indians, then just leave it like that. As long as there's no manager name under there, that's going to be, you'll just be playing the Cleveland Indians in 1975. There's Palmy. How you doing? Yeah, Municipal Park. And you only have Jacobs. Yeah, I had to look around. Yeah, I mean, you do, but again, what Bernard wants to do is a season replay, and I don't think he wants to do what you're doing. And I get it. Like, or even what I'm doing with that original franchise All-Stars thing, or some of the things I've put together, homebrews on this. I do want to maybe sometimes hear a White Sox Cleveland game, you know, or a Giants Braves game. But in my 1949 replay, I'm pretty much just managing the Brooklyn Dodgers, and that's it. I'm you know. But again, I mean, I think that's a nice thing to add there, Robbie. Definitely. So I do have a Municipal Stadium somewhere, but again, this is something. After I show Bernard how to do this, I'll probably never revisit this again. Okay. So we don't really have any ballparks set up. I would have to set up ballparks for everybody to finish this, but I think everybody gets this bit. Okay, how to do managers, everything like that. You can set lineups from individual games. You can set up for a team if you want to do your own lineups. Again, you can edit an initial player status. Maybe you want to make him inactive. So maybe a certain player was inactive at a certain part of the season. You can do that, or you can make him inactive at the beginning of the season, or what have you. When you generate reports here, there's a day-by-day schedule that you can look at, and it will display for you right here. And there's the schedule, and you can see who is where. A little easier to read than the grid. And there's the entire schedule. There it is. And unlike Aaron's, didn't work for him, this will end on October 10th, as it should. Now, and this is no different than out of the park baseball or anything else. This will not, and neither will Action PC, for instance, this will not automatically go into a World Series. So you have to create that World Series. But the way you do it is you import those teams into creating a new league. But that is a video for another time. How to create postseason and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm not sure, Aaron. So when I do that background thing, sometimes I have to replace a player. For example, the Minnesota Twins kept needing a designated hitter. Yeah, well, it might be what options you have checked or whatever. I've never ever run into that, so not quite sure, Aaron, what you might be missing. But this is basically how you do it. If we had time, I would definitely assign ballparks for everybody and then show you that interface. Let me see. Baltimore is playing Texas, so let's just give Texas a ballpark. Why not? All right. So again, team home field for the Texas Rangers, just so you can see what it looks like when you get to the game interface. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm going to look around. There's no search function, but I'll find it somewhere. There it was. Ballpark at Arlington. Woohoo, there it is. Not domed. Okay. And if we do, we'll play a manual game. And we're going to Texas and Baltimore. Select it. Click OK. And I picked the black and white version of Memorial. I should have picked the color version. Now, notice that there's no lineup here. Texas Rangers. If I do auto on manager mode and select a manager, let's just say I wanted to use the AI called Sparky Anderson. Click OK. And there, both of these are selected. And then hold the control key. Move that up there. You can hold the control key, move players around. And this is starting now. Game's ready to start. And we're managing. Well, actually, it's going to be CPU versus CPU. So, but there's a trick to this too, where you can get back to, if you don't feel like setting lineups, you can actually set this back to manual and then manage against the game. So, but again, Aaron, go back. There's a great help file, and you don't have to do the math. The help file will explain it, and hopefully your software will guide you through that. It's very simple. If you're doing a season in 1970s, the numbers are 12 and 18. So, as we found out. You can also, Ernie's going to talk now. So.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ernie Harwell. And welcome to Baltimore Orioles baseball. Keep your windows open and let the baseball in. We've got plenty of action here on WAPBA. We're coming to you from out here at the park. Today, visiting Texas. Visitors will test the Orioles at home. It's opening day.
Now,
both teams
let me hit pause here.
And the long race begins in a few minutes. This is the first.
Because I want to point out something.
Game set.
Ernie, Robbie is besotted. He says, hi, Ernie.
Here's how it lines up defensively for the Orioles. May at first base. Gritch at second. Belanger, the shortstop. Robinson at third. Across the outfield. In left, Singleton. In center, Baylor. And over in right, Blair. Duncan is behind the plate at DH and batting sixth, Davis. And on the mound for the Orioles, the right-handed Palmer. Generally, he will not beat himself. He will be facing visitor starter, right-hander Jenkins. So settle in. We're ready to start this game.
Now, it may run through this first play, guys. I'm not sure.
Randall will lead it off. A very steady hitter. Duncan sets up.
There's a couple ways to pause. The pause is weird in this, so.
Grounded to the right side, and Rich gloves it. The throw in plenty of time. One away.
And I think we're going to trick the game. If you hold control and move a player and move it back, that will sometimes pause it as well.
Next to bat for Texas is a left-hand hitting Howell. A valuable bat.
There. Now, the game's paused so we can talk about a few things. You notice that he didn't say Texas Rangers. He called them the Visitors. And if we hadn't assigned the Orioles their name, it would be the Locals. So that will remind you, it's like, oh yeah, geez, I've got to set the Rangers nickname. All right, so what can you do up here? So I know nothing about the Texas Rangers at all, but I can change manager. And if I just go in here and go to manual and click OK, I'll be able to be managing. I'll be managing these Robbie's Rangers, and he'll probably hit me for doing it wrong. Whatever. I don't know these guys at all, so doesn't matter. Okay. Now, you can go up here to options, announcer and sounds. You have a couple things. I like to play with full commentary. You get everything, and as the season progresses, Ernie will remember what's happened in past games, who's on a hitting streak, things like that. It's really cool. Light commentary, you're only going to get the stuff in green, so just play-by-play, no color. With a little bit of color. Play-by-play is strictly play-by-play, and that's it. You can set the announcer's voice to be unaffiliated for the home visiting team, for the home team. Stadium music, announcer, adjust, all this kind of stuff here. Pause if, whatever. Okay, so save this, and change manager here. Come on, is it here? Maybe I have to do that because, oh, what? Nope. There we go. Oh, I'm managing both. Good. So you know what? I'm going to get out of managing the Rangers because, all right. Here we go. Unpause the game. And there's our managerial options, which right now, right, we can only intentionally walk or pitch to the batter. So if I click this, this is something a lot of you guys haven't seen yet, we do that. But beforehand, let's go to display, because I think for a lot of people, or not display, where is it? Trying to find the font sizes, because you can make everything larger. So if this is too small for you, cancel it. Just give me a second. This is something I don't mess around with too much. And again, I'm always talking about the help file. It's there. Nah, this isn't it either. We'll have to let Robbie tell you how to do it, because I don't mess with it. But again, you can change the size of the scoreboard. You can change all this kind of stuff here. I just don't remember where right now because I'm tired. I'm tired. Okay, anyhow, I'm going to press this, and there we go.
Palmer looking home. He comes home. That's high and deep.
That's it. Right-click on the scoreboard. Thank you, Pami.
On the run. It's starting to tail away from him. He makes a catch. He stayed with it beautifully. 2 down. Now at bat, Hara. He gets his share of hits.
Now, for those of you that play APPA cards and dice, what's really, really cool about this game is, so with, I know when that year that I played Strat PC until I got really disenchanted with their what they think is customer service, you had to buy digital images of the cards extra. Guess what? You don't here. If you right-click on a player, I can view his card, and there it is. This is the APPA MasterCard for Jim Palmer. It's right there. So if you wanted to, and you can look at player cards in any module, if you didn't feel like busting out your APPA cards, but you did everybody else, just set these up. You could actually screen capture these whatever you want, but I thought another really cool thing by APPA is to include the player cards. Another thing that you can do is look at his ratings in game. So this is for the PC game, right? And then This is his card for the Cards and Dice game. Okay. Now, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. So we can change player fonts here. So if I want these names a little larger, I can do this. If I want to go up here to the box score font, can change it. So watch when we do 14, for instance, and click OK. Now we've got a larger, right, nice and easy to see. Again, font. Thank you, Pommy. I always forget that. Okay, right now it's set to 8. Usually 12 is good, right? And you can set the score, the size. So pretty simple. We'll go ahead and let this play.
To work. The delivery from Palmer, line to left center. Giving chase is Baylor. He hightails it to the track, and he snares it on the fly. Baylor really picked it. A fine running catch. 3 down. Palmer sets them down in order. Visitors, nothing. Orioles coming up. For the visitors. The visitors take the field here in the first. Manager Anderson sends out his squad this way. Spencer at first base. Randall at second. Hara, the shortstop. Howell at third. The outfield consists of Burrow in left field. Davis in center field. And Hargrove over and right.
This is really cool here because you can get the full script of the game. So it's a great way to review the game.
The right-hander Jenkins. Here's Belanger to lead it off. An unlikely hero. Catcher ready.
All right. Now, what I want to do is pause. Oh, it's going to make me play this. If I wanted to get out of this, I could cancel this league game. And yes, you can change the team colors, all that kind of stuff. Now, the only thing about this is it doesn't stick. So the next time you would have to change the Orioles colors again and the Rangers colors. Okay, but that's okay. I don't, but I some people like to do that, and I think that's great. But if I want to get out of this game quickly, let's say, oh my God, I've got to go somewhere, and I just don't want to. I can cancel it, or let's say I want to autoplay it really quickly. If I go to announcer and sounds, okay, all you have to do is go announcer, turn off those two things, right? Click save. And now I'm also going to do one other thing. Okay, this is just to show you how to get out of a game quickly or just to autoplay it. If you got a blowout going or wherever you're like, I don't want to watch this whole damn game, right? Then, okay, what am I doing here? I'm batting, so I can just go to offense. I can go to pitch manager, set this to auto, click OK, and then as soon as I minimize this window, right, that's it. And then just bring it back up again. Orioles win 4-2. That's it. So obviously there's a lot more to this game than I've described, but I think for anybody that wants to do a season replay, I've given you a lot here. I've done videos in the past on how to do what-if leagues, if you want to check those out. You can use any seasons, any players that you have for APPA. If you have the Baseball Encyclopedia, what I would suggest you do is just import everything. Don't worry about the team names on your virtual machine. Import everything, and then from Advanced Draft, you can work down to the player level, and you could create Ned McGreevy type leagues in this. Or Shanks leagues if you wanted. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's that fast. It's real. Again, now Action PC is just as fast with the game too, so is Out of the Park. This thing can blast through a season, and it's fast. It is fast the way it goes through. I don't have everything set up for you guys to do that. So now I remember I said this, right? Well, let's say I tried to exit this, right? Well, I can do that, but this is still up. So I exit that. Now everything's gone. But see, it already saved this. There's our box score. Everything is done. And if I wanted to, I could track everything in Statmaster. But that is an overview of Baseball for Windows, how to create a season replay. A lot of the steps are the same. There's more involved, a little bit more involved, because you're moving players, you're moving teams. But again, if you're really interested in that, just look back. I've done videos on how to do what-if leagues in Baseball for Windows. And basically, again, that's going back to advanced drafts and realigning teams, removing players here, there, everywhere, and you're good to go. That's it. So, I don't know if there's any more questions, but Bernard, hopefully you'll find this helpful. Yeah, advanced draft really is. But you can't play the game, you can't play a season without this, and you can't track what's going on without Statmaster. And if you create your own seasons, or you download some seasons, you need the migration tool. So this is the thing you'll use least of all. But this is probably the coolest thing that APPA could have done, and I'm glad they did it, because that, thank you to people like me who've been playing this game for ages and ages. So, and it's just you files, and you're just looking where your files are and go from there. That's it. A lot of people have a tough time. It does have an initial learning curve. I'll grant you that. It can be frustrating. And actually, what I want to do is well, I'll remember it. I just want to turn back on the sounds again. If I would go to play a game right now, there will be no sounds, and it would just boom. But I just don't think there's any reason for us to go through this whole thing and me setting up just to show you how quickly this can play through a season. Leave that up to you. Yeah, that's it. Bernard, the main takeaway for this is this has an incredible help file, and I want to address that with Aaron. So he said it's really weird. It is. And I'll tell you why it is, Aaron. Because this help file was basically, because it's not an executable, this is the help file the game has always had. So back in the days, and I know for you're not seeing it, but your software is having trouble with it, reading it to you, it's because this is from back in the original Baseball for Windows didn't have Ernie Harwell. That didn't come around till 3.0 or 3.5, I think it was. 3.0. So the first two versions, there was no sound. This was basically Diamond Mine Baseball. And then they included crowd and everything like that later. This is a throwback to the Windows 3.1 days. This is what help files were like. And yeah, that's it. But Bernard, anything that you want, it's got an index, search. If you're in whatever module you're in, right, you can go into there's how do I. So the how do I, if you go to the how do I in each help section, this is going to help you. How do I bench a player? How do I delete league play box scores? How do I display a box score? It's all these, it's an FAQ. And it also has its regular old common questions here as well. Get as deep as you want. How to add unscheduled games. This will also show you how to reschedule rainouts. So a lot going on. A lot going on. Robbie, would you mind doing some heavy lifting there for a moment and post the Discord link for Palmy for the McGreevy League? That'd be awesome if you would. But yeah, Robbie's right. Once you get used to Baseball for Windows, you'll zip around it. Again, I mean, let's go back to advanced draft here and show you. Maximize this, and I'm gonna load a data disk, and I'm gonna find something else that I was doing. Just to show you guys how to do stuff. Oh my god, I don't even remember. I'm just gonna pick one. Is this? No, not that one. There. I just like this. This is something. This is a home brew that I did. This is a home brew. This is like some all-time great teams from all eras that I did. Put them together. Click on here, and we can see this is the 1927 Yankees. When you're creating these teams, you can choose to have it append the year, so that way you know what Yankees you're playing. And everybody in the player pool will have the year. So we see there's the 71 Bucks, the 93. I think it's the 93 Braves there. Yeah. Oh, actually, Glavin's not on anybody's team. So over here it will tell you who's there. Yeah. And like I said before, if I wanted to look at Lou Gehrig's card for the Cards and Dice game, there it is. If I wanted to look at Lou Gehrig's in-game, the PC game card, and look, we can see he's a power hitter. There's his platoon rating, hit and run, speed, steal success, steal allowance. Those things, I would really suggest that when you get the game, this is kind of APPA sort of, you want to just review this a little bit. The rest of this is pretty much self-explanatory. Okay? But Aaron was talking about this is where all the magic happens. It is. So if I right-click on Lou Gehrig, I could drop him, edit him, transfer him. I could unaffiliate him from here. So I can by transferring him, he'll still remain here, but maybe I want to put Lou Gehrig, a 1927 Lou Gehrig, on another project I'm doing. I can easily just, Gehrig will stay here. Okay? So that's another way to do things. All right? You can do GM stuff in here and scouting, and but really, guys, I don't really do a lot with this. I really don't. You can players ratings and everything here. You can, of course, just like Action PC Baseball, anything that you click on, you can. There we go. Nick Altrock still hanging around in 1933, 56 years old. By position, there's everybody just broken down by position. If it's a plus, he's rated more than 1. If it's red, he's on the team you're looking at. So much you can do with this. I can import teams, more teams into this. If I wanted to create more divisions, I could create more divisions, bring in more teams. It can be whatever you want it to be. I can release, just like an Action PC Baseball and Out of the Park Baseball, release all these players into a draft pool, hold a fantasy draft. So they are all, yes, they are. No, so you can't create players. That was the thing called Wizard. That was taken out. You can find it, and you have to run it in a virtual machine. So but you can edit players, but you can't create. I can't create Robbie Wartburg in here. I would need Wizard to do that. So it doesn't do. You can create fictional players, but it's only limited by. So we go to Benny Bengoff here, right? And let's edit Benny, right? So we can pick from what names might be in the list here. And, we'll probably find a Robbie or a Robert or something. Okay. I'm sure there is. Kind of Smokey Joe Wartburg, right? So, but I can't pick last names. So I can't just, write over and make this, if I write Wartburg, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter, right? So I'm going to cancel this. That's in Wizard. A Petri dish and a wicked good imagination. Welcome in, Big Clue. So that's pretty much baseball for Windows. If you have questions, put them in the Discord. If you're looking for some ballparks, let me know in the Discord. If you want some of this homebrew stuff that I've done, let me know. Because with a few of these, you'd have a lot of baseball to play. This is available as a digital download. It's $28 on Apple's site. They still haven't made all the seasons available yet as a digital download, unfortunately, nor the ballparks, which John Gerson promised back in April that would happen in 2 weeks, and well, it's August. So I think they reckon time a little differently there in at APBA, but still love it. Well, big clue. While he may be the master, Robbie would have never found this game without me, and I've told that story of how Robbie found the channel because of this. I believe they are. I don't really go to the site anymore because here's the thing, guys. After, say, I don't know, 1998, 1999 seasons and stuff, as you buy later seasons, so anything after 1997, let's say, if Ernie doesn't recognize the name, he will use the first initial of the last name. Kind of disjointed. Um, they were going to have, was it Pete Van Wieren? There was a big announcement some years ago that they were going to have him pick up and say all the names that Ernie Harwell didn't say. So you would have an alternate broadcaster. But they decided instead to update the game engine and things like that, um, which happened. So I think it's a worthwhile game to get if you love listening to Ernie Harwell. If you don't mind that you're limited, I shouldn't say limited, in seasons from 1871 to 1997. Again, you do your searching around. You can find the Fan Park Encyclopedia if you want to do that. Um, if you have some friends that play baseball for Windows, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more, say no more, who make home brews. I'm certainly glad to help you. Then you get a lot of players. Some downsides to this. Got to remember that this is an older AI technology, and there's a lot of artificial intelligence going on in this game. That while it's using the master game, you can also change manager tendencies, just like you can in Action PC Baseball and Out of the Park Baseball and Diamond Mind. The Ernie Harwell announcer is not just a narrator. It's an artificial intelligence for its time. So Ernie will react. He will remember. The Microsoft narrator doesn't remember what happened 2 games ago. Ernie Harwell will say, for instance, Tony Lazzeri, or he'll say, Push'em is on a 5-game hitting streak. Right? There are glitches, because he has said every name. I mean, if go look on your shelf if you have Total Baseball or you have the Stats All-Time Handbook. So every name in there, every surname, and most of the first names, plus every number that's in this game, he has said. So this was a Herculean task that was done. So a lot of people knock this game, but oh, well, the sound's glitchy. Well, have a close look at MLB The Show, which I love, and you will see glitches in that game as well. You would definitely see glitches there. I like to think of this, along with the game Old Time Baseball that I've done a couple times in this channel, as kind of the forerunners, if you will, of games like MLB The Show and Out of the Park Baseball, especially MLB The Show. I still think if you can suspend your disbelief a little bit, it feels like you're listening to Ernie Harwell. It takes up only 4 gigabytes or so on your hard drive, which is really small when you think of how much room games take up. I'm thinking of one that comes to mind right now. King Arthur: A Knight's Tale is 150 gigabyte footprint. This is 4 gigs of baseball goodness. The season files are really small. Yeah, it's not. Now, there is a thing about Ernie Harwell's voice you should know. It sounds a little bit higher than his actual voice, but because they had to compress everything. This was, you got to remember, guys, when this came out back in the day in 1995, if you had a 2 gigabyte hard drive, man, that was like massive. That was considered massive, 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 right? But, and while Robbie's here, by the way, Robbie, I've been busy lately. Oh no, I can't show you these because it's wait, maybe I can. Hold on, because I've been making Robbie some creations here. Let me see if I can do this without getting in trouble. I'm going to move this, I think, off. Yeah, over to here so you guys can't see it. Because I found there's some, these are some not safe for work images because I am an artist. But Robbie, you said you like blondes, so I've been working on a couple ideas for you, and I want to see what you, maybe if you like this young lady here. Come on, there you are. So Robbie, I interviewed her for you. There we go. And she, in fact, is a big Ernie Harwell fan. Loves Ernie Harwell. She likes dudes from Texas, and yeah, I guess apparently has some conservative leanings, Robbie, and as you can tell by her wardrobe. So, created her. I've been waiting for you to come around. So, there you are. Yep. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Okay, Robbie likes her. All right. In fact, I had her pose for this right after she was working on a 1952 Brooklyn Dodgers replay on Baseball for Windows. I hope the air doesn't leak out of her. Anyhow, guys, that is it. I don't know where the hell I put Statmaster, so... There, see, I cannot run the League Manager Power Tool while Advanced Draft is running. So it reminds me that it's open, so I would have to actually close it. I don't know if there's any more questions, but that's it. Robbie's Mennonite friends. Yeah, you can definitely tell that. She definitely, I would say Old Order Mennonite even. Big clue. I wish I could show you guys some of the other stuff that I'm working on. There is one thing I am kind of proud of, if you guys will indulge me for a minute, though. And hopefully you like it. This is something I put up on my Facebook page. This is not a photograph. I did this in a program called Blender. And no, it's not a woman. But since I've been like all kinds of dealing with stuff in real life, I wanted to just create art. And so here's one of my newer creations that I'm very, very, very proud of. This was actually done in Blender 3D, and then I post-processed it in Photoshop, and of course put on this text. So it's my little dude. Anyhow, you name her whatever you want, Robbie. Legend says franchise stars Baseball League World Series Game 1 either 11:30 tonight if he gets out of work tonight. Well, I hope you get out of work tonight. Or 12:30 p.m. tomorrow. So if it's tonight, I might be able to catch a couple innings. If it's tomorrow, I'll have to catch. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Yeah, so all this was done in Blender. These are 3D models, textured and posed by me, and all that stuff. So I'm kind of proud of this one. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. It took a long time to make. Thanks. Just leave him up there. So what else does everybody have coming up? Dwayne, do you have anything coming up in your channel tonight? I'm not broadcasting tonight. This counts as my broadcast, so that's it. Legend Sports Universe, man, it's the World Series, and well, don't want to spoil it, but I would just say that the smart money wasn't so smart, at least on one of the teams concerned, and good stuff. Glenna, after Toby Harrow's mother. Yeah, there you go, name her Glenna. I had to be very careful because some of the stuff I'm working on, YouTube would like say, no, dude, no, can't have that up there. So, anyhow, Dwayne, do you have anything coming up? Bernard, do you have anything coming up tonight? Legends has a game coming up. Big clue, is this weekend the is this the Shanks draft? Is it this weekend? Okay. Andrew, yeah, ask away. Ask away. So here we go, yeah. This is a matchup for the ages. Rue Boisdel, Carl Hubble. I'm not going to spoil it to say this, legends. This is actually to get, even engender more interest. I hope that the the games that have been played in this postseason in Franchise Stars Baseball League, version 1, season 1, have all been amazing. They've all been amazing games, man. Edge of the seat stuff. And the A's did not steamroll the Cleveland Indians. And, the Giants had some, too. So it was really nice to see that there wasn't a sweep on either end. It was great. That's all I'll say. Tune in. Great games. Get yourself caught up. Okay. So Dwayne says that he may do a game tonight. You guys and your may do stuff. 61 Braves and Phillies. Bernard says no, but he will do broadcast 1912 Red Sox sometime tomorrow night. All right. Oh, you're absolutely welcome, Legends. It's been killer. And I'm not doing any... Again, I don't broadcast any games on MLB The Show, but I don't want to do any show on my channel while that World Series is going on. I think that should solely be the... right, that should just be for Legends, because he's the one that kind of got so many of us into the game and with all his hard work. And not that I could steal any of that thunder anyhow, but... I think something that cool and the hard work that he's done, I don't think anybody else should be doing any, at least me. So I know Robert, RGO Network, has something coming up soon, 2016 replay. Yankees in Chicago, so later start, working till the game is done and story is in. Got it. All right. Well, I guess that's all. Yeah, guys, you have any questions? Anything to remember? PAME, you're in our Discord now. Place to put in some baseball links. You find some cool vids. You want to talk about games. You want to talk about this season. Anything. It's a baseball channel. It says Ned McGreevy on it, and it was originally set up for a league that we did. But it's really fair game for all baseball. So feel free. There's Cousin Ken here at the very, very end. We didn't play a game, Ken, so you didn't miss anything. So, Robbie, good to see you around. I'm guessing the Rangers are off for a little while. Yeah? Robbie works for the Texas Rangers, so lucky dude. Free baseball all year round. Well, not all year round, but free home baseball. So, Bernard, are you going to be doing anything? Robbie has something to share. Uh-oh. Could this be it? Does he have something? He has something to share. We're waiting, Robbie. Before I sign off here. And it's Ken Castro greeting everybody here. Even with double exclamation points. We're waiting, Robbie. It's dead air. It's dead air. What do you got to share? Starting 21st August. You're going to be starting... Finally! Congratulations, Robbie. Everybody give him a... How about a hashtag Robbie? Give him an applause, something, a thumbs up. He's finally going to go to college. He's a smart guy. It's about time, Robbie. Congratulations, man. Congrats, congrats, congrats. I've been on you about going to school ever since I've known you. So I'm very, very, very happy. Way to go, man. Get the degree, dude. Get the degree. Because no matter what in life, that's something they can't take away from you. So way to go, Robbie. You're a smart guy and you should be in there. Big clue, of course, has to be... Yeah, he says about time a Rangers fan had more than a GED. Ouch! Oh! Oh, and on that note, jeez. Oh yeah, Robbie, you'll be fine. University seems scary. It's not. Undergrad was easy, and grad school was even easier. Oh my god. But still, I'm so happy for you, man. Yeah, I'm seriously happy for you. Best news ever, man. Except for the fact that Kate Beckinsale wants to meet me. But other than that, great news, man. Really is. All right. And with that, guys, I want to thank you for coming in. I read Discord this morning and asked, or yesterday or something, and asked Bernard. I'd missed it because I've been off for 3 days and wanted to get some help on Baseball for Windows. So hopefully this was helpful. Theater GEDs come with ESL courses. Oh, man, big clue. You a nasty man. All right, so tune in. Hopefully, Dwayne Martz or Legends or both is going to do some games tonight. You guys are into 2016 stuff. There's RJO Network. I don't know if Baseball Demos is on tonight. Don't know who's doing what. I'll see you guys probably Saturday afternoon. Probably be the next time I come on and do anything. So until then, thank you, Big Clue. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to do Tex Ags. I already did something for you. No, I said at the beginning, APC community, APC sports community. And I'll put it in the chat for you. I already talked about the old ballparks. So that's one place to get them. Okay. Let me put that in the link for you. Or in the chat. Okay. So there you go. Okay, that's for anybody looking for some ballparks for Action PC Baseball. There's a lot on there. So I didn't forget you, man. No way. No way, no way, no way. All right. Oh, absolutely. And if you're on our Discord text, there's Steve kindly put up a nice zip file of hundreds of ballparks on there. So if you're on our Discord, grab some ballparks, man. They're there somewhere. I can get you some ballparks, but too, and what you get there. I have some. I have 14 or 1500 ballparks now for Action PC, so it's very easy to get. Robbie, would you one more time post the Discord link, please? Because every time I do it, it doesn't work. Oh, that link isn't working. It's not. I'm looking at it. Okay, just go to APC because that's a virtual link. So all you gotta do is just go to the main link, which will be right here. All right. Because it works for me, Big Clue. So I don't know what the deal is with you, dude. Hey, man. Wow. Anthony here. Anthony, how are you? It's always good to see you. Always good to see you. Try this one, guys. It's been way too long. Hope you've been doing well. So Anthony, everybody knows who Anthony is. I don't have to introduce him, but I will anyhow. Creator of Glory Days Boxing, a Brit that I happen to like. Waiting for that baseball game, and I'm gonna live forever because it's gonna come out someday. He is our favorite bleacher bum. Don't know if Anthony's still doing the Dead Ball Diaries, but guys, even if he's gone through all that, go back and treat yourself to Dead Ball Diaries. Anthony does a lot of commentary, a lot of fact checking, and everything, but using as one of his main sources, including his considerable knowledge of the Dead Ball era, is the audiobook version of Lawrence Ritter's Timeless, if you'll pardon me, The Glory of Their Times. You will hear some fantastic primary source stories right from the people who played it. You know, Tommy Leach, Sam Crawford. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, you love the Brits. It's the Welsh that you look. I see. Okay, so they get the Askants. Yeah. Okay, so new set just finished for Glory Days Boxing, and he has a couple Dead Ball Diaries left. Um, so Big Clue gets it. Big Clue's not Irish, but that's all right. We still love him. Nah, the Brits are cool. The Brits are all right, man. I mean, I love you. My favorite band is British, although three of them are Irish, but Irish descent. Love British comedy. Love British drama. You know, we just want our country back. But it's nothing personal. Anthony, you're one of the smartest people I've ever met, and I just have one question for you. You said that baseball was your favorite sport, so how come you didn't do the baseball game first? Every time you come in here, I'm going to ask you about the baseball game, and you know that. Brits are great. They just can't cook. That's, oh my God, spotted dick, toad in the hole. Ouch. Robert was just announcing you. I guess you have a game coming up, or are you taking, is this a Wednesday night off, or do you have a game coming up? These guys need baseball. There's nobody's doing baseball. Maybe Legends, maybe Dwayne, but we don't know. What about you? He saw Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. That counts. That counts. Just as you typed it. Do you have a game coming up, Robert? What's the deal? These guys are starved for baseball. Maybe because there's so many and you need a better extraction method for stats. Plus, you keep tweaking it. Oh my God. Okay, tweaking it. That means I'm going to be 80 before it comes out. Great. That's right. It's going to be great, though. Oh, geez. Oh, come on, Big Clue. Really, I was having hope. He says Anthony's baseball game will come out the same time George R. R. Martin finishes his Fire and Ice series. Well, if I had progeny and my progeny had grandchildren, but unfortunately. When's my next video? Probably not till Saturday. Well, actually, no. Maybe Friday night. Friday night I might come on and do some baseball Friday night. Saturday, Big Clue, when is the draft Saturday before we go? Then we're going to close it up. So tomorrow, so Robert's not doing baseball tonight. Holy hell. So tomorrow, Inside Pitch, 2016 All-Star Game, Petco Park, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Be there. Or Robert, to borrow a line from you, or B Square, right? So Robert tearing through this 2016 replay. We're at the All-Star break already. I'm sure my Pirates are sucking. But will the Cubs repeat? We shall see. Anyhow, Big Clue. You might want to let people know when the draft is, or don't you guys have a firm time yet? So either Steve or hosting Saturday p.m. Couldn't we do Friday p.m.? Saturday p.m. I've got music doing, so I won't be here if it's Saturday. But if everybody else is easier Saturday, go for it. Bucks are second place? Wow. Yeah, that's not going to last long. All right, Robbie, can you do it Friday? Instead of doing baseball, we'll do the draft. Guys, this is not going to be a big requirement. It's just you're going to basically draft a team, and then after a couple nights or something, I think it's going to be played out on one of the channels, either Steve's, MV's, or this channel. Probably Steve's or MV's. So, okay, Friday night. MV is here now. MV is pretty chuffed to hear you broadcasting the other night, considering you had to get up for work early, but I was really chuffed to hear you. It was great. However, we do have to talk about your heresies. So baseball fans, you need to know that MV is using things like ghost runners, interleague play in 1982. MV, this is something I created by hand. This is one of my pieces of artwork that I just wanted to put up there just for, but thank you, yeah. Say, looking foxy. MV, are you going to do a game tonight? Is anybody going to do a damn game tonight? That's what we want to know. Robert's not doing a game. Legends is a maybe. Dwayne is a maybe. That's it. So MV, what is this with you and the Ghost Runner? And then you have to you tell me, oh, the speeds the game up, dude. The average game in the dead ball era was an hour and a half. You're melled out. Ooh, is that a good thing? Well, is that you make wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, holiday snaps, that kind of. Does she go? Does she go? Is your wife a goer? I don't know what you mean. Ghost Runner's on second, buddy. I don't know. Oh, okay. So in the good way. Nice man. Good man. Good man. Yeah, Robbie. Well, we know you'll be on hiatus, so no game there. Okay. All right. Well, everybody just roll up a game or play some stuff, I guess. And I'll see you Friday night for the Shanks draft, and then maybe we'll do a game of something afterward, and then Saturday afternoon something from 1934. We'll go back and visit the Gas House Gang or something. So there we are. MV, if it wasn't so late over there, I'd have you come on the mic and have you defend this Ghost Runner business that you're doing. Let's just say Mel climbed the Tower of London and yeah, really is offering everything but the show. Guys, read it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And Texag says he's going to be unboxing his 1934 APPA season. Nice. That's good. Or an MV's take a break from pleasuring yourself. One thing you can always count on for Ken Castro, he's always going to give you something that's creative, right? So Legends letting us know he's hoping just a short hiatus after this World Series year 2 opening day, starting around Labor Day. So that's good. Thank you for not like. There's one guy. What is King Ikeboo or something? He's really good, but he will only broadcast baseball during baseball season, and so yeah. Thank you for keeping baseball all year round, Legends. You the man. Oh, Anthony, Ken's always coming in hard. Are you kidding me? Robert keeps baseball going all year round too. So Ken destroyed poor MV. It's cumulative. It's cumulative. It is. It is. Well, MV asks for it. Anthony, he's a heretic. He's playing Ghost Runner on second in extra innings. I mean, it's just, it boggles the mind. This is what happens when you take so it worked fine for Henry Chadwick, right? So Chadwick, huge cricket fan, sees baseball, converts, invents the box score. MV, huge cricket fan, sees baseball, converts, and adopts all of Rob Manfred's rules. So I know, interleague play and Ghost Runners on second. I mean, right? Yeah, but you know what? He's not making it a mistake. See, oh, it should have been done before. All right, MV, you're seriously. If it was not 1246 and Blighty, I would have you on here to defend yourself in the court of public baseball knowledge. It's innovation. Well, it's shite. It's shite. There's lots of things in history, my friend, that have been innovations, and look what happened to them. What about the Edsel? Come on, history buffs. Tell them about the Edsel. It was an innovation. And yeah, the Yugo was an innovation. Come on. Innovation to the Welsh is eating with utensils. Rate DH in both leagues. You know, MV, we love you, man, but your sins are legion. They are legion. The DH has been successful. By whose rubric? Yours, apparently. Right? MV, are you awake enough, or are you really that mellowed out? Inquire. Look, there's 11 people here. 11 people here, you tosser, that want to know why you're doing what you're doing. Robert says the Yugo was an innovation, all right. The first car that could actually fit into a simple garbage can. Okay, so Mel's finished with him. Do you guys? Okay, MV. All right. Okay, man. Let me get on the Discord. All right, guys. This is your chance. This is your chance. I should be eating dinner, having a whatever, but all right, MV, where are you? Get on here. Don't you be running away from me. Where are you? I don't see you on here. MV. You're not online. Come on. Don't be a tosser. Wanker. Ho ho ho! Hey, mate.
Beatles, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can everybody hear can everybody hear Mr. National League DH Ghost Runner on second here?
Hey, Beatles, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me? Wait, hang on here. Let me see what the hell's going on.
It's innovation.
It's okay, so you can hear me.
Yeah, let me just turn down one of these volumes. Let me just see which one it is.
Good man. Good man. All right. Okay, Robbie can hear you.
I can hear you perfectly.
All right, good. And I can hear. Okay, so gentlemen, MV posits that the Ghost Runner on second, interleague play, and DH in the National League is innovation and a good thing. In fact, he says it's been successful. So I present to you MV to defend his thesis. Please, MV, go ahead. And your volume's too low, they said.
First of all, let me just get the volume right.
Yeah, get the volume right.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just see how we did this before I school you on the benefits of...
Well, and while I'm being schooled, you need to hear this from Mr. Clue. He says, yes, we can hear the traitor. It's people like him that caused the fall of the monarchy, for God's sake. So were you would have been a Roundhead, not a Cavalier. See? There you go. You are a Roundhead amongst Cavaliers, my friend. And we saw how that turned out for the Roundheads, didn't we, huh?
I'm definitely a Cavalier.
How can you be a Cavalier?
I'm definitely a Cavalier.
You cannot be a Cavalier because Oliver Cromwell, may his name be damned for all eternity, right? Innovated. And boy, you can ask my people about his innovations. And he killed a king and made himself a dictator and said, it's innovation. Well, he didn't quite say it like that, but go ahead. Hail Cromwell. Robert, I'll kick you off this channel. Just kidding, man. Anyhow, go ahead, MV.
For me,
just don't say F-ball.
For me, we're in 2024.
Yeah.
We're actually in 2024.
We're actually,
sorry.
Yeah, Egypt. 23. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Everyone's waiting, man.
There's a 10-second delay, so I'm getting confused. Right. So I can hear you in two different speakers, but I think I'll stay with this one.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Right.
Sports.
It's all cobblers,
if you look around the world and look at sports, baseball has its place, but baseball cannot continue.
So you guys didn't know I was having Rob Manfred on the channel, did you? Go ahead. We're listening.
In its old way. It just can't, because things have got to update. Yeah, it has to update. It has to stay with the times. For example, think about it, when we had computers back in the day, we were all using Amigas and we were all using Commodore 64s, then a 385 and a 485, whatever they're called. You can't use Windows 2000 in a world that accepts Windows 11. It has to update. Baseball would have died when there's so much competition from soccer. By the way, the biggest game in the world. I love baseball, as you know. You know I love it.
I'm not so sure anymore.
With so much revenue generated from television, so much competition from soccer, even cricket. Even cricket is becoming huge in the United States. I've just seen the very first Major League T20 league. That's as close to baseball as it gets. And they had to speed up the game. So I believe in the speed changes. I believe in replay. I believe in DH in both leagues, by the way. And not because DH does anything other than make the game appear more offensive. We know the statistically it doesn't make a difference.
Exactly.
Also, just to end, because I've got a 10-second delay, the runner on second is the ghost runner thing. I love it.
Why?
Speed. So who wants to be sitting down watching a game between the Braves and the Mets like I did when I was a teenager?
Baseball fans.
Going on for like
baseball fans
6
do.
hours.
Baseball fans do. That's who wants to sit and watch it. Don't you think?
I hear you.
You're right.
And this is what we talked about the other night. Yeah, it's like me watching an endless penalty shootout in soccer. However, I respect the history of the game. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. Are you reading the chat as well? Because
and I respect the culture behind it, as I said before. But I do believe to remain competitive. I can't see the chat.
well, you should look at the chat because there's a lot here. A Big Clue though says that you're living proof of the divine right of Pillux. That's important. Okay, but look, so you're talking about innovation. So let me just give you this. Baseball. Baseball by far, revenue-wise, outdraws the other three major sports. For one thing, they've been trying to change baseball for years and years. Baseball's been around for 150 plus years. Why do we have to keep changing it? It's not dying. It's not going anywhere. I guess what would your evidence be first? Is it trying to compete with footy? I don't think so. Do you think footy will eclipse the four kind of established team sports here in America? I don't see basketball, F-ball, hockey, or baseball are in danger of footy. Major League Soccer's never really gotten huge here. It really hasn't.
Oh, I don't know. I think Major League Soccer, I'm not saying it replaced baseball, far from it. But I do believe it's grown from 1994 when it first started. There are more franchises, more audiences. We've got it's innovative insofar as the different rules they've got. Don't get me wrong, I love baseball. I'll keep saying that. I love baseball, but I don't think it can stand still. And the recent changes have been really, really good, in my opinion. Now, why did they change the rules? Because there was a need for it. I don't think they just sat down and thought they would change it.
Okay.
I think they did it for a reason. It's to stay competitive and to appeal to television.
Legends, I have a video to send to you.
I don't think it's ruined baseball. I think
to
it's
refute that.
of taste, I guess.
Okay.
Do you like classic cola? Do you like cola? To me, it's the same thing.
Okay. So is your argument then that innovation is, and again, maybe I'm setting up a straw man here and I don't mean to, but are you arguing that innovation is good always or good mostly or what? I know you're treading carefully here, right? I'm just asking. We Irish people were innocent.
And to be competitive.
Okay.
And to reach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Robert. Okay, so Robert presents something here, which I think is worth talking about.
I'm a 10
MV.
second delay, Beatles. Just give me a
Oh,
second to get back
right.
in sync with what you were saying.
Okay, so yeah, you're listening to it on YouTube. Gotcha. All right. So Robert says baseball rules were changed due to short attention spans of Americans. I agree. What do you think? You're not American, so but what do you think? We'll
I
wait for.
agree with that too. I agree with that too because I've watched more baseball in
Mm-hmm.
the last year than I ever have. Partly to do with the fact I found your wonderful channel.
Oh, now you're blushing
Yeah.
up to me, aren't you, lad? You fancy Gem Bussy?
Well, I think that they look at baseball from a case of looking at the profit. Is it more
Mm-hmm.
profitable? You said it generates revenue, but does it generate more profit? You know,
Hmm. Okay. So, so you would be all
and
right.
also
What
from the
what if
network point of view, in
what
terms of
if
broadcasting and getting more partners on board, like you see the
Okay, let me ask you this, and I know you're on a 10-second delay. We should probably next time try to do this as a call that everybody can just hear. But how about this? What if Rob Manfred and his minions decided to get rid of the substitution rule in baseball? So that
yeah.
baseball would be like the other three major team sports in the United States, where you could just go to your best guy all the time. Would you call that a good thing? Bernard says he's so happy this has been tagged onto his
Repeat that,
training
please,
video.
Beatles, about
Okay,
substitutions.
yeah, okay, so baseball, right? Substitution rule, right? You you bring in a relief pitcher, your pitcher's out. You bring in a pinch hitter, that guy that was pinch hit for is out of the game, right? So basketball, right? You could go to Scottie Pippen anytime you wanted, or Michael Jordan, an F ball, you could go to whoever. I don't know too many F ball guys, Franco Harris or whomever, in hockey and all these things, right? Mario Lemieux. So if baseball got rid of a substitution rule and said, okay, you're going to pinch hit for so and so, but yet then you can have the guy that was pinch hit for back out in the field, would you find that a good thing if baseball got rid of the substitution rule? Because once you're out in baseball, you're out. But and in the other three team sports, that is not the case.
No, I think baseball works. Yeah, I think it works as it is. I think it works as it is right now. When you're out, you're pinch hit for. I think only the ghost runner rule, I think, does involve the last batter coming to run from second base. It seems a bit odd, but I like starting at second base in extra innings to speed the game up.
But okay, here's my contention to that, my friend. Okay, so these teams have played to a tie, and they're grinding it out, and now all of a
And
sudden,
and, and Beatles, before you go any further, because
okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
I'm waiting for you to catch up.
All right, so it's a 10-second delay. So I'm speaking now, so just count 10 seconds and it will be good. Right. I don't know why we. So when I talk about the, I'll come to substitution in a minute. But so when it comes to innovation, I think baseball are looking at their profit model.
Mm-hmm.
They've always looked at their offering in terms of how can they continue to improve their product to stay competitive. In terms of service, are they providing the best possible service to the customers through MLB Network or
Mm-hmm.
reaching to the audience in Europe with the games we have in Europe? Um, are they providing value? And I think they've gone through customer engagement. Has it told them that baseball's too slow? And I think it's just a modernization of the business model of baseball. And it's more in line now with probably what goes on in other major leagues like NFL and Premier League football in particular. Those two big leagues stand out a mile. And also the Indian IPL. These are really successful in terms of profits, not just revenue, profits, worldwide reach. They are eating into the television market. So baseball's responding, and rightfully so. It's a great game. It deserves to be looked at. So I guess they've looked at some things that are common sense. The DH thing was always troubling me. I'm thinking, why do I want to see the pitcher hit? Having said that, I can understand the nuance and the interest of seeing the strategy behind a double switch. I love that kind of thing too, don't get me wrong. But I also want to see an experienced slugger still being able to bring it.
So you want,
in the National League, where he wouldn't have had a job, he now has a job.
So let me ask you this:
and he's likely to bat better, or at least aesthetically look better at the plate than a pitcher.
Okay, let me ask you this, and again, I realize there's going to be 10 seconds till you hear this. But at what point do you take away what makes baseball the most unique of team sports, right? I mean, it's the only one with a pitcher batter confrontation. There's so many things that make baseball unique, right? We've gone through all the old tropes. You know, it's the only sport where the defense has the ball, whatever. As these changes go on, and I know you want to think about the substitution rule, at what point is it no longer baseball, but something entirely based upon the dictates of short attention spans and media, and pretty soon the World Series is going to be one game like the Super Bowl, because Manfred and everybody says, we want the cool commercials too. Then what happens to baseball? Couldn't innovation to that extent be a self-destructive act? And now I'll wait 10 seconds for your reply, good sir. We need a neutral moderator here to have a debate sometime. Robert's Rules of Orders and stuff, right? Yes, we do.
I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you live. Funny enough, for some reason, I'm not hearing you like I normally do through Discord. But so here we go. I think if you go back 160 years of baseball, if my memory is right and my knowledge is right, baseball has continued to evolve.
It has.
Whether it's
It has. You're right.
The gloves, the uniforms, the amount of umpires on the field, the stadiums, I should say, the amount of what makes a strikeout. Was it 4 strikes you're out? But we take it for granted in our lifetime. We've been alive since what? You and I, probably from this, we were born late 60s, early 70s, or mid 70s. So we know the baseball that we've heard of since God knows when till now.
Right.
But when we're removed from this earth, unfortunately, one day, Beetle, baseball won't even be recognizable to someone in 50 years. When they look back at 2023, they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe they only did the DH." And they probably got some other way of looking at baseball. Baseball's only not even 200 years old, I don't believe. But in 200 more years, it's going to look completely different to how it is now. So you're right to ask the question, at what point does it become no longer looking like baseball? And I bet if you woke up Cap Anson and said, "Cap, what do you think of baseball?" he won't recognize it. He'll recognize the diamond. He'll recognize the basic concept of the game of 9 innings, one team beats the other. He won't recognize integration. He won't recognize the DH. He won't recognize the bullpen. He won't recognize the uniforms, the stadiums.
But if I may,
we'll recognize some bits which are going to stay the same.
Okay, I'm just waiting in the 10 seconds.
So,
okay, but I can. But wait a minute.
Shuffled off this earth, it will not. It'll still be baseball. It'll just look a lot different than how it.
But how is it? Okay, but here's the problem with that argument. Okay, and respectfully submitted, I can look back at old baseball footage from a long time ago. I can read baseball stats. I can look at pictures of old ballparks, and here I am in 2023. And I can look at a baseball game, an image of a baseball game played in 1906, and I instantly recognize it, even with all the changes. And I wasn't around in 1906. Only Clinton Parks was around in 1906. So, that being said, how So when you're saying that it's not going to be recognizable, that's to my point. It's going to change so much, my friend, that it's not baseball anymore, right? It's no longer baseball, and it's I wonder if maybe people think of many baseball fans like,
I
don't change a
take your
damn
point. If you
thing.
go back to 1906,
I know that's baseball
we're
being played,
115 years old.
right? I know that's baseball. I recognize it, right?
Sorry. So 1906 to 2024, my math is not great, but I think that's 118 years.
Yeah, you keep
Someone
putting
just
us
put
a
in the
year
chat,
ahead, but go ahead.
Christy Mathewson being pulled after 80 pitches. Is that baseball? It's just two eras of baseball. It's the era. Yeah, but it's 1906 dead ball era baseball, which we define as completely different to, I don't know, post-war baseball, which is very different to 1960s steal as many bases as you can baseball.
No,
Very
1960s.
different to all the different
1960.
eras of baseball. They've just got different eras, but
Well,
it's
there's
still
different
baseball.
eras.
You're right.
Would
The
disagree
game
with
is the same.
right. The
The way
60s
they
were a
play
power
the game
era,
and the
but okay.
innovations are changing.
But what you had said earlier is that people 200 years from now would look back and not even recognize it, but yet I can look back almost 200 years, and yeah, knowing being a knowledgeable student of the game, certainly by no means an historian such as John Thorne or even some of the guys in this chat right here, right? But you're saying that they're not going to recognize it. So again, I reiterate, doesn't that speak then to the problem of excess innovation, that it ceases to become recognizable? Whereas a fan now, I can look, you know what, I can look at that famous woodcut sort of, or painting, whatever it is, watercolor of the Knickerbockers playing in the Elysian Fields in 1846. And yeah, the pitcher was throwing underhanded and all that kind of stuff. But I recognize it as baseball. What happens when that and does it become meaningless? Because we still can compare. And I'll take this as an example. Walter Johnson, still, I will always maintain the most dominant pitcher in baseball. But with more and more innovation, then what happens to the accomplishments of these great players? Is it like, well, yeah, that was then, it was an inferior game? Is that what we're inferring here, implying? Now wait 10 seconds. I hate the lag.
I think I think in 200 years, let me just correct that from what I said earlier. I think in 200 years, we won't be around, but it will still be baseball, and there will
Mm-hmm.
still be diamonds. There'll still be, hopefully, take me out to the ball game and hot dogs at the ballpark, and families gathering around watching baseball. The Sox hopefully will still be around, and the Yankees and the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
It will just look different, and I'd imagine that the rules will be slightly altered,
Mm-hmm.
just like the other sports like cricket
Huh?
and soccer.
Mm-hmm.
They have, even in my time, when I'm still a young man, in my 50s,
Right.
early 50s,
Right.
still looking handsome. But
I
I've
know you
noticed
are.
soccer changing with the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Our offside rule changes every couple of years. The point system was once 2 points for a win, and now it's three.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the substitution rules are constantly changing. And most of it is down to just pure evolution of the sport itself. To be fair, these sports that we take for granted, like not take for granted, we're used to, we've grown up with, none of them, I don't think, if you go back 200 years, they're probably not going to look that recognizable, but we can kind of see the origins. I think it was soccer. They used to kick a bladder around, a stuffed bladder. That's totally unethical 200 years later. So it will always evolve. And yeah, if we go back 200 years, it will still look like baseball. It just look a little different.
Okay, then may I
You've
ask?
taught me from the dead ball era, and I'll finish here so you can speak,
Yeah.
that the gloves were different. There were more errors made.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still baseball.
It's still
But it's
baseball.
evolved. They can't have the gloves. I can't see Ozzie Smith wearing the same glove as Joe Tinker.
Agreed. Okay, and to your point, yes. So, but these changes made to baseball in the dead ball era, right? And I've mentioned in a number of broadcasts that when there was an errorless game, it made headlines on the sports pages in the dead ball era, and clubs, they really strove to reduce the amount of errors. However, what I'm still having trouble, I'm just trying to grapple with this is you're equating with innovation as kind of right. So to borrow from Big Clue here in the chat, he says look up the word innovation in the OED Oxford English Dictionary. The word refers only to something new. Innovation does not necessarily imply improvement. To his point, so can we say is let me ask you this point question. The only dead ball we've been exposed to, of course, is through our reading, and through the games that we kind of do vicariously here. Would you say the modern game is better than dead ball? Better? Is it a better game? If innovation is improvement, is today's baseball better than the product that was put on the field in terms of play? I'm not talking about the ballparks or anything like that. Certainly the facilities are nicer. But is baseball a better game today than it was in 1913? And if so, by what criteria would you make that judgment?
Okay, so yes, good question, and I will retort.
Thank
I'm
you.
loving this. So, innovation, when most businesses look at innovation, like leagues, like MLB, and all the rest of it,
Hmm.
as they would look at one area. That's why, when Clue's definition, I think it may seem narrow because many organizations just focus on one part of their business. For example, they may look at improving, I don't know, their customer services
Hmm.
or designing new products, but
Right.
they overlook the opportunity to innovate in something like logistics or business process. Baseball, for example, may be just looking at were previously just looking at the sport on the field, but were they looking at the network? Were they innovating when it comes to television? Were they innovating when it comes to reaching other markets in, say, Europe? That's why we have the game in London. The NFL have successfully looked at not just the sport on the field, but how transferable is that to other audiences to grow their revenue, of course.
Hmm.
They've looked at things such as the branding. Is baseball's brand, which has been damaged over the years, not recently, there's been a need for innovation with the branding over time. So they always look, may not be that obvious, but over time, if you look back, tobacco used to be the big thing about chewing the tobacco, I think it is, or that product. They used
Right.
to put in their cheeks, the players, when I was
Yep.
growing up.
Yep.
That has changed
Hmm.
gradually.
Yes.
Probably what we haven't even noticed.
Hmm.
Um,
But let me add, but you haven't answered my
so it depends
question.
on how you
Is
look at
is
innovation.
this
We tend to focus on one area. In baseball, we're looking at the sport on the field. That's what we're talking about generally today.
and so to my question, and again in this damn 10-second lag, what and I'm not attacking you. What I'm asking you just very simply though, my friend, is is the game of baseball a better game today than in 1913? And if let's this time we don't have to go back to 1913. Let's go to 1968 because Big Clue's comment about Christy Mathewson would hold true for Bob Gibson. Imagine telling Bob Gibson, "Sorry, Bob, you reached your pitch count." Is the game of 2023 better than the game of 1968? Now I'm picking a year that everybody in this chat can relate to because they either know it from their dads or they were old enough to have known the 1968 season. Is it a better game now than 1968? And if so, why?
Good question, and I'll do
Thank
my
you.
best to answer it. Bearing in mind, I never grew up with baseball, but I do know the game a little bit now.
Well, you know a lot
Um,
about it. I'm proud of you.
I don't watch a lot of 2023 baseball.
Hmm.
However, I because it's not my cult. Yeah, oh, thank you. Um, would I watch a 1968 ball game over a 2023 ball game? It's hard to answer because of my exposure to baseball, my age. If I talk to Bernard, not to single Bernard out, or Ken,
Hmm.
they may choose baseball of the 50s as being better than now, because they've got that wealth of experience of looking at all versions of the different eras. I can only go back to the 80s where I loved baseball more than any other era. So when I play baseball on my Action PC, I'm always looking at baseball. To answer your question, is it better?
Hmm.
Um, it's good for the era it exists in with the technology we have now.
That doesn't answer the
I think
question, though.
1968 baseball would have been just as good with
Ah,
this
ah, ah,
technology and
ah.
rule changes
But,
now.
there you
Was the
go.
product on the field better than now? Yeah,
But
I'm coming to it. Coming to it. So
okay, yeah, yeah, because you almost slipped there. So okay, go ahead, listening. Because I just because
go ahead, Beans.
if you're saying, my friend, if you're saying that no, it was as good,
Yeah. So let me. Yeah. So
then
I'll
what has the
continue. What I
innovation
was going to
done?
say is,
Right? Go
if
ahead.
I'm looking at the, if yeah. So if I'm looking at, so I'll keep talking so you can. I'll stop when I stop completely. Then yeah, because of the lag, it's weird. But yeah. So what I was going to say is, 1968 baseball, from my lens, it's exciting baseball. It is innovative. You have free agency coming in. You have the lowering of the pitching mound. I think it was in '68. You have big stars. You have expansion. That's innovation. Expansion. Then we're going to have the Continental League. You've got new franchises. Just previous to that, you had the moves of the Dodgers and the Giants. So that was a big, innovative era for baseball, for sure, the '60s. But that reflects the culture of the country or the world at the time. Big, massive cultural change. Um, I think in 2023, we're having probably a comparable. In any era, there's a lot of innovation going on at any time. Product. I think
Hmm.
that's a personal choice. Does it appeal to a bigger market though in 2023 than it did in 1968? The answer is it absolutely does. Appeal to a bigger market than ever before.
Well, but that also has a lot to do with technology, right? I mean, look, we carry around in our hip pockets the almost the entirety of the accumulation of knowledge of humanity. So internet and phones and everything. So yes,
Innovation.
it does, right? But that's innovation and technology. But I'm still asking the question: is the game? I'm not talking about the technology. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about the game of baseball, right? Is it better today than it was in 1968? Because you said about 5 minutes ago that it was excellent. So if it was excellent then, what has the innovation done? If you go back to 1968 and say, you know what, in 2020 we're going to have this, which we're not allowed to say it on YouTube, we're going to have this global event that's going to make a lot of people ill. Okay, and they're gonna introduce a thing called a ghost runner on second. How do you think people would react to that? I think a lot. By the way, a lot of fans are now. There's some of the changes I agree with. I'm not like a complete grognard when it comes to like I'm not going to say we should have 16 teams, no batting helmets, things like that. Good God, we'd have dead people everywhere. But I'm still not getting how today's game is better or if it's better. And you are giving great answers. Legend says you're giving
It's
thoughtful
hard to
answers,
judge
and you
if
are.
it's better. I think it's a question of taste. For example, I like soccer, but I like 1970s soccer because
Right?
with soccer, I like the fact in the 1970s, when I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
there was dirty football. People kind of like American football. Oops, I said American football, but you know what I mean.
That's it.
There
Banhammer.
was
Banhammer.
moustaches. There was a macho-ness to it. You could
Right.
kick people down. There was no red card and yellow card. And get booked for killing someone.
Uh-huh.
So, so it was, so it was a very much a case of I love 70s style of soccer,
All right.
which is when I play replays, I tend to go to the 1970s in soccer. In baseball,
Mm-hmm.
I like the fighting, but that still stayed the same because it's still baseball. Um, is 1968 a better product? I don't. I think without innovation, you wouldn't get to where we are now. I said in 1958, I think the Dodgers and the Giants moved. That's innovation. The Continental League didn't work, but that led to the introduction of the Houston Astros, the New York Mets, God knows who else. I can't remember who else. That's
Well,
innovation.
well, if I
And
may, if I may,
if they'd have stayed to the traditional two division um, league format, as I recall, is it 16 teams?
okay,
It
if
wouldn't have worked as well.
well here, okay, but you've got to remember why. Okay, Walter O'Malley didn't move west to innovate, right? It was due to a New York City commissioner named Robert Moses, right? So he already had the site picked out because Ebbets Field, there was no way they could have expanded Ebbets Field in any way. It
Yeah,
literally fit in a
I know
city
Moses.
block
Yeah.
in Brooklyn. Okay, so Moses said, nope. I mean, Branch Rickey said, look, we've got the land, right? Or Warren O'Malley said, we've got the land. By that time, Branch Rickey's off working for the Pirates, right? So we've got the land. We want to build a new facility, right? Even it was going to be a very modern-looking facility. Talk about innovation. It predated the Astrodome. If you look at pictures of Walter O'Malley's proposed ballpark in Brooklyn, Robert Moses said, no, but you can build it in Queens. And O'Malley said, "Bafangustunad," as you would say in Italian. And all the while then, Los Angeles is wooing Walter O'Malley. So innovation had nothing to do with it. Money did, but O'Malley has been maligned for decades. People saying O'Malley wanted to move the Dodgers out of Brooklyn. He didn't. Robert Moses forced his hand, right? So you can't really argue that that's innovation. That was more out of, okay,
Yeah,
look,
it was
the
Moses. I
the
agree with that.
right, the physical plant of
Yeah,
Ebbets
I
Field was
agree with
falling
the. I
apart, my
agree
friend,
with.
right? And they
No,
couldn't
no. I
expand
mean,
it. They couldn't do anything with it. And remember, I love you, MV. I do, but I think you're a heretic. To be fair, we should have
yeah,
this
I
debate
agree
on
with the
your
Moses thing
channel.
because I know that history pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I
heretic.
know, and it's a good difference. Very. Yeah, I can't get the timing right. I can hear you perfectly.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, what with the move from the Giants and so forth, broadly speaking,
Uh-huh.
sometimes we think of innovation as creating. It isn't necessarily that.
Uh-huh.
It is also about branding. It's also about service. It's also about network and using the West Coast, which is a great opportunity. They saw Chavez Ravine, prime real
Right.
estate. That
Mm-hmm.
still comes under the umbrella of innovation because it involves network and structure and you know the Major League Baseball did the model I'm using, by the way, theoretically, is Dublin's 10 types of innovation, the theory of Dublin's 10 types of innovation,
Mm-hmm.
which talks about how you innovate. I'm sure you know a lot of this stuff yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but basically, it talks about it's a creative process, not just being creative in one area. It, and we know baseball has evolved to where it is now. Let's be honest,
Mm-hmm.
we all fell in love with baseball, most of us. I think, apart from Clinton, you know, fell in love with baseball, say from the early 50s, right the way through to now. And we still watch baseball. I don't watch it as much as I used to. I don't have the time.
Robert, if
But
you,
you know, I was talking to Bernard Stroum yesterday,
yeah,
and well, listening to him with great like interest
yeah.
because he was talking about when he first.
I was just
Well,
gonna say
listening to
Robert wanted to come
Bernard
on.
broadcast, and he was saying when he first got into baseball,
Yeah.
and I'm fascinated by it. Um,
Oh, so am
to
I.
answer your question,
Yeah.
I think the best, Robbie, yeah,
No, no, Robert. So Robert, RGO Network. If you're on our Discord, yeah, I can bring you on. You got to be in the Discord so I can get you on here. But yeah, certainly. So somebody drop a link for Robert. I don't know if he ever joined because I don't
oh
show you online.
RJL, yeah,
RGO, yeah, I'd love to get him on here.
Beatles, how come it's been a delay today? Because it doesn't normally.
I don't, because you're a heretic. Because you're a heretic. It was Robbie Wartburg still here to send a link for RJO to join the Discord. We'll get him
Should I
on the
turn
air
off
here
my volume
on YouTube. Yeah, because if you turn off your volume on YouTube and just talk to me in Discord, then they'll get the 10-second thing, but you and I won't. So Robbie, there's the Discord link. RJL, Robert.
I mean, I'm looking at the comments in the Joe makes an interesting comment here. Hi, Beatles.
I'm still here. There, are we in sync now or not? You and I.
As to whether it's better or not now than it was, I'd say that if we didn't have the DH, it would be better because that was retro baseball. Is saying that.
All right, let me see if we got Robert on here. Are we in sync, you and
That's
I?
what Joe says.
Are we in sync, you and I, MV? Or are you still listening to me on YouTube?
More often, Beatles, actually.
Discord. We should. Are you listening to me on YouTube, or are you listening to me now on Discord?
I can't be in trouble with RGL because he's a Mets fan.
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, but anyhow, no, I know he's a Mets fan and a hell of a broadcaster. I'm just waiting for him to join here, and so I can find him. I don't have to friend him, or how does this work? How do I have to do this? I want to get him on here. We had him on here for our draft night.
I've got Discord is on.
Oh, I know.
My voice is definitely connected.
I know how we had him before was through StreamYard. That's why. Because we had him on for our Shanks League during the draft. That's how we had him on before, but we need to get him onto the Discord thing. So we'll find him.
But you, me, and Clue have been on at the same time.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
We have. We indeed have. I need to find Robert as... Let me look in here and see where he is. Where he is. Where are you, Robert? Let's see. Is he under the welcome?
What about if you turn down your volume on your YouTube and listen to me through Discord, it will work?
I am where I am. I don't have I never use my volume on YouTube. So like when I'm playing a game, it's the game as it's playing out for me, and you guys are hearing it 6, 7, 8 seconds later, whatever it is. I don't listen to my YouTube. Yeah, I never do. So, but the last time we had Robert on here, we were doing the thing through StreamYard, not through Discord. Weird. Yeah. So right now, I don't know whether you're hearing me on YouTube or you're hearing me in Discord.
Yeah, anyway, Beatles. Yeah, so
YouTube.
Somebody was asking, is soccer better now? I think if I mute my YouTube...
Yeah, mute your YouTube.
If I mute my YouTube, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
I can't hear you through Discord. That's the problem.
But you can't.
I can only hear you through YouTube, and normally I can hear you through Discord, and that's why I'm out of sync.
Oh man!
So I'm not sure what the setting is.
I don't know because I'm not muted.
In sync on Discord.
Yeah, I'm not.
My Discord is connected.
So's mine.
I've actually got you mute. I can't even hear one thing. But I'm on Discord. I'm looking. My voice is connected.
Oh, there's Robert.
Sound is connected.
He's here. All right, let me see if we can get him on here.
I don't know why. Never mind. Next time we'll figure it out.
Well, I'm going to try to get him on here. Yes, I'm human, for God's sake. Hang on, it's Discord being Discord. Oh my God, how many times do I have to bloody do this? Add friend. Okay, there. Sent friend request to Robert. This is hard work. All right, now we got to bring him in. Yeah. Let me try this. I might lose you, so try to rejoin. Let me see. You still there, Robert? Now it's all bollocks. Can you hear me, Robert? Or is my mic being weird? Shouldn't be. I'm not going to update my username. Wait me. Okay, nobody can hear me now. Nice. Jeez. This sucks. I'm immoral. Yes, I am. All right, well, it looks like we lost everybody. Damn it. So, yeah, Dwayne, you can hear me. I can't hear either of these guys. Oh, see, well, we're not going to restart. I should restart it on StreamYard, but... Oh, my God. Anyhow, MV, where'd you go? Robert, where'd you go? I
Can anybody hear me?
There's Robert.
Hear me?
Can you bring up your volume a little bit? Just a scotch.
There you are.
All right, I got one coming in from. All right, who's on here? Hello. Oh my goodness.
I'm on.
Okay, Robert.
Can you hear me? Hello, Cleveland.
Yeah, we can hear you, Robert.
Hello.
Do we lose Robert again? Yeah, best broadcast ever, says Big Flu.
Delay. I'm hearing you through YouTube, though.
Oh, shit. Well, anyhow, it's bollocks, isn't it? This is too bad. We should move this to your channel. I can't, because I heard Robert.
It's all a load of bollocks, isn't it?
It is a load of bollocks.
What would the difference be, though? Because we're still going to have a problem.
Well, I mean, you know, it's because it's your temple of heresy, I guess. Oh yeah, Big Clue. He wants to know why you just tried to call Steve and poor Robert's out there like, what's up? So we're waiting for Robert. Damn it! Oh my goodness! I could put up another picture of another woman I've designed for Robbie while we're waiting, but anyhow.
Oh no, it wasn't intentional. You know what it is, Clue? I tried to call them in, but it's probably because I've got you set as a threesome, and I probably called you all at the same time rather than calling Beatles. So ignore that.
All right. Well, now I've got to figure out. Let me figure this out here, man. Because you're on a different call. There's Robert. So I'm gonna start speaking Italian here in a minute. It won't be savory language, let me tell you. I don't know enough Irish curse words.
I don't understand why I'm not showing up.
So I want to get. I don't know why you're not showing up, man. Because if I call Robert, I lose you. Can we invite Robert to this one?
Well, I'll
maybe.
keep us entertained while you figure it out, because, like I said, I think I've said my piece anyway. Is it a better game?
Yeah, but you. Oh yeah, here we go.
I'll come off and let Robert speak. Let RGL
No.
speak.
Here we go. Wait, hang on. I got it. Bang. This should work. Add. Robert. There, you on, Robert?
Are we here?
Yes.
Anybody hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
I can hear you both.
All right.
Can I hear you? Can you hear me at all?
We can hear you, Robert.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
But you still got that 10-second. You still have a 10-second. You still have a 10-second thing.
All right. Well, how about you guys have it out here, and I'll just kind of hang back.
It's coming through your YouTube, people. So it's still, for some reason, not coming through YouTube. I'm not sure why.
I don't know either. I have no idea.
Yeah, because if I disconnect YouTube, I can't hear a thing.
Oh, that sucks. Maybe we should postpone this and do it some night on StreamYard. Because I don't know why this is giving me the fits.
Big Clue says he can hear all three of us.
problem is that we're using YouTube to speak through, but we're using another one to.
Yeah, we should do it through the Discord, and
Right.
normally we could do it through YouTube. We've done this before, but for some reason tonight.
Yeah. Big Clue says he can hear all
I
three
can
of
hear
us.
MV so clearly. He sounds
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Well, MV is
Well,
perfect.
thank you very much.
He's perfect. He's perfect. He's a heretic, but he's perfect.
Heresy.
You guys, listen. I'm just Frankenstein's. I'm the monster. You guys created me. I've been watching your broadcast and listening to all of your stream. This is it coming back to you now.
Hey, I cannot argue with a man that comes from a country where I get Doctor Who. Okay, greatest science fiction program ever. So
Okay.
So,
Now it's gone silent. Everybody can hear us, guys. It's all 10 seconds. So you guys have it out.
fantastic.
Yeah, there you are.
Now I can hear RGL through Discord and YouTube. I can hear him live on Discord.
Yeah. I don't know why you can't hear me. I don't know.
yeah, we just can't hear Beatles eternally through this. We can't hear Beatles eternally through Discord.
That's
We're only
right,
hearing
that's
him from
right.
YouTube.
So Robert, all I'm saying is, so you can hear me. You can hear this in 10
so
seconds.
RGL,
You
go for
guys,
it.
you guys
We
debate.
are in sync, I think.
Yeah, you guys are in sync. Go for it. I'll just sit here and be in Egypt. As I excel at that.
No, look. MV makes some pretty good points as he talks about innovation between innovation, and you know, and improve. And of course, Big Clue uses the word improvement. Now, Big Clue is not wrong in any way. Nobody really is wrong here. Okay, nobody really is wrong. You got to look at baseball through the ages that it's been through. Now, Beatles Eternally, okay, believes that the dead ball era may probably be the best era baseball was. And the dead ball era, okay, which of course, well, I wasn't alive yet, so I didn't actually see players like Christy Mathewson, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Ed Delahanty, Cy Young, Ty Cobb, really not legends, more like myths, of the game play. I never saw these guys play. All right.
Yeah.
And, so I think, I don't know, as far as innovation, between innovation and, that innovation, because innovation, like Big Clue says, is something new. So, like, a brand new, like, before we went to we used to have cathode ray tubes as TVs. Now we have LCD, LED monitors. That's innovation. That's something that didn't exist yet, and that definitely made things a lot more, interesting, as we were growing up, to see new technology. In terms of innovation in baseball, would be the batting helmet. So now nobody's going ahead and getting cold cocked in the head, from a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Okay. Innovation would be shin guards and elbow guards. So if you do get hit by a pitch there, you're not going to be out for the year, with a torn MCL or ACL.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think innovation is the word you're looking for in this situation.
I'd agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think innovation is the word you're looking for. I think you're looking for rules change. Change. I don't want to say change. I don't want to say change because change is also different. Doesn't mean improvement either. Okay. Change means I went ahead and changed my clothes. Right. Well, I took off my shirt and changed into another shirt. I really didn't improve myself. I just put on something else on. Okay. I get. Hold on a second. I think. Hold a minute here. I think the word that we might be looking for instead of innovation.
You're right. You're
I
right,
would
RGL.
say, I would say maybe, I would say maybe, you could say enhancement. You could say these are synonyms of the word improvement. Enhancement, refinement, maybe upgrade if you want to use that. Okay, I don't think innovation would be used because, like, you know, they're trying to enhance the game, like
Yeah.
pitch, like 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 the pitch, like the pitch clock. Okay, the pitch clock. They were trying to. They're using that to speed the game up. Well, I remember watching baseball in the late 1970s and 1980s, and a baseball game lasted about 2.5 hours, and a typical 5 to 4 game could last about 2 hours and 30 minutes. A
Yeah.
typical maybe 8 to 7 game, if there's no pitching, okay, could maybe last maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes. But the reason why games have gotten longer is because the commercialism of the game, because now you have commercials everywhere, and even if you're at the ballpark, you have your commercials because it takes. They usually do at least. I've gone to many baseball games, and right now it takes 2 minutes, in at least 2 minutes, in between innings, okay, before the pitcher throws the first pitch to the next batter to start the next inning. You have commercials. You have you have commercials on the TV, which of course, and remember, the media now controls baseball
Yeah.
games. Okay, the media does this. Not because back in the 70s and 80s, the media went by how quickly the game was going. The media can actually tell somebody they tell the umpire, "Hey, TV timeout for a second. We gotta do."
That's
we gotta
right.
do a
That's right.
Okay, and they hold the game up for a quick minute. Okay, um, they're going. That's what they're doing. Okay, for the pitch clock to speed up the game, but they didn't need that back in the 1980s. Um,
Right.
the Ghost Runner rule. Um, the Ghost Runner rule,
Is
first of
bullshit.
all, in my opinion, is an absolute abomination of a rule.
Just
Okay, I
say
think
that's
the
bullshit.
rules are
Stop
trash.
being.
I am using
You don't have to be
it,
nice on this
I
channel.
am
It's
using
bullshit.
it though, MJ.
Yeah. How is it for you?
It's bullshit.
No. We don't want it. We want to still make this kid friendly if we go that way. But then again, that picture of that lady is not really very kid friendly. I appreciate it very much.
You're most welcome.
But other than that, the
So
thing
what do
is,
you make of the ghost rule then, RGL? So you're
Ghost
using it in your game. How does it enhance your gameplay?
I use the Ghost Runner rule only because now it is part of the system that they're using, and yes, I will use it in seasons that it didn't exist, but for a couple of reasons actually, and some of them, one of them is personal. First of all, the Ghost Runner rule that I use does not start immediately in the 10th inning. My first rule is, okay, I will not use a Ghost Runner unless in an inning before that, a starting pitcher had to take the mound, and all relievers have to be used. If they have a relief rating, I have to use those pitchers first. Of course, this is a house rule, but if they have a relief rating, I have to use those pitchers first. And then if I have to bring in a starter, if the game doesn't want to end after 12, 13, or 14 innings, and I have to bring in a starter, I said, okay, Ghost Runners will start in the next full inning, if, of course, the game doesn't end in that inning. Okay?
How much has it enhanced your play though, RGL? Because I watch your streams.
The first time I actually used the Ghost Runner was in an exhibition game. In my demo game for 2016. I had to use I used the Ghost Runner rule. In an exhibition game, Ghost Runners I'll use. Okay, I'll use them in an exhibition game because the game is meaningless. It's just fun. Like for instance, I'm doing the All-Star game tomorrow. The 2016 All-Star game, we'll use Ghost Runners immediately in the 10th if it gets that.
Excellent.
If I have the 10th, okay, and Big Clue, you can go ahead and go see how your Reds did against my Marlins lost the last 2 games. Oh, I don't want to bring that up. Meanwhile,
Right.
uh, but no. Other than that, okay. Another reason why I'm now using Ghost Runners, since I play every night,
Yeah.
and somebody has to go to work the next day, I can't be playing
Okay.
17. I cannot be playing 17 or 18 inning games anymore.
Isn't that the same principle then? So you're a heretic as well.
He's
I'm
no.
trying to get my butt into bed to get some sleep.
Well, he would be a material
Here's another
heretic.
thing, though.
He would be a material heretic.
I will not use Ghost Runners at all in the playoffs.
Right. Okay, that's fair. That's
I will not
fair.
use Ghost Runners in the playoffs, and they don't use them in the postseason anyway. In real life, they will not use Ghost Runners. Hence that 18-inning game between the Mariners and the Guardians last year. Okay, so they will not use Ghost Runners in the postseason. I completely agree with that. You cannot do that. I'm a little bit scared of the pitch clock, though, if they're going to use that in the postseason. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Put them in the 9th inning. And let's just say, for example, the Yankees are batting in the bottom of the 9th against the Dodgers or something like that. Aaron Judge is up to bat. Yankees are down 5-4. Bases loaded. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the umpire calls Aaron Judge for a pitch clock violation, and the series ends right there. The media would destroy Major League Baseball.
RGL, I'll give you a scenario. That I agree with that scenario, but it has happened in a major sport. If you remember athletics, and in the old days, in the 70s, 80s, when I was a kid, it used to be every runner in a 100-meter race had a chance to get 2 full starts. If they had 2 full starts, they were out. So allowed 1, and the second one they were out. Then they improved it because, as you rightly said, the media has taken over. Television costs money, and the slots and the timings. One of the best athletes of all time is Usain Bolt. In a World Championship final, he was eliminated after 1 full start because they kept. So I see your point, but that's just the times.
I don't know if I can compare track and field to a baseball, because that's individual. That's one person. Okay, so if he doesn't do it,
I hear you. Yeah.
He's the only one that loses. But if one person, in baseball, okay, if that happened to Aaron Judge, the entire team loses. I don't think you can use that as a comparison.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And you're not wrong. Okay, but I just can't use that as comparison, track and field to baseball, because track and field is individual, baseball is team sport. Whole team
has a wide impact. I get it.
We're losing the track and field. I can't. It would be like comparing, maybe tennis to football. I just don't think you could do that. Tennis, like I said, it's individual. Ice skating is individual. Gymnastics is individual, but there is team gymnastics, yes. All right, but that they're individual. But comparing them to team sports such as baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, I really can't compare the two.
What about the runner on second? The ghost runner on second. You would not want that in the playoffs. But yet in NHL hockey, surely there is a penalty shootout. In soccer, penalty shootout.
Now in hockey, all right, hockey used to have games end on a tie. Okay, and before the shootout was invented in hockey, the games ended. You could have a game end in a tie. Fans were getting a little tired of that. All right, so they decided on the shootout. So you will have a win. Now in a hockey game if two teams tie in a hockey game, you both get a point. Because remember, a win is 2 points, a loss is no points. Okay, a tie is an automatic point for each team. But now in the overtime period, okay, you can go all out to get that second point. You're already guaranteed a point there. But now you're trying to get that second point, and you're either going to do it by the 4-on-4 hockey overtime or the penalty or the shootout. Okay. The thing about, and of course now in the postseason in hockey, they don't do that. It's next goal scores, and trust me, the NHL postseason this year was one of the better postseasons I've seen with not only with my Florida Panthers going to the Stanley Cup, okay, and and the overtime games that were played, which were awesome, okay, because postseason hockey is awesome to watch. Postseason hockey is awesome to watch, but
Ken had a no-hitter, by the way.
Postseason they don't do the shootout, okay. Soccer, where if a goal is scored. Yes, I see the Phil. Congratulations to Kenny.
He got
Philadelphia. The thing is, Joe Murray says I'd be for the shootout in the playoffs. I can't agree with that because the playoffs is different. It's a totally different atmosphere and so much more on the line in the postseason than a regular season game. Like for instance, the World Cup. World Cup in soccer. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate penalty kicks. I hate penalty kicks.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Until someone wins. I don't care how long the game goes. And the reason why I say that, it will show a test. One of the reasons why I don't like soccer is because of that stupid penalty kicks. Okay? I hate them.
I mean, ironically, it was adopted from an American sport. It never used to be. It used to be a tie. And in the World Cup, I think the first time they did it was in 1982. And it was very dramatic. But before that, I can't remember. I don't remember. I think they played extra time, and somehow somebody would always win.
They do have extra time. Okay, you have the 90 minute, and then you have a 30-minute extra time.
Yeah.
And then after that, you play sudden death. Forget the penalty kick. This will show you what this does. Is it shows you we're going to find out which team has the endurance, which team wants it more, which team is going to take that risk to make that goal. Okay, they're going to see which team's going to want to do that, who's going to put on the line, which team's going to crack first. Okay, that's one of the things about the soccer, or at least the World Cup. They go to these penalty kicks. So you play 120 minutes of soccer, and you decide it just by penalty kicks. I'm sorry, you completely make the 120 minutes, in my opinion, redundant. Because now you're just going to go to penalty kicks. You might as well just go to penalty kicks to decide.
They did try and do what they called a golden goal in the 2000s, where first team to score in extra time wins, and that encouraged attacking play. But it was almost seen as unfair because you could score from the kickoff, and that's the end of the game. And it has happened like that. They got rid of it.
But if it happens, it happens. See,
it was unpopular though. That was a problem.
Unfortunately, the National Football League has not completely gotten there yet. We now have more NFL games ending in a stupid tie because of the 10-minute overtime rule. And if nobody gets this, anything like that. I mean, I would like to see the NFL do something, okay, in the regular season. The postseason, I think they got pretty good right now. Okay, both teams possess the ball at least once in the postseason overtime. But if you gotta have a winner. I'm sick of ties. This is 2023, and up with the ties. All right.
Last question for you, Joe. Last question for you. So, do you agree that baseball? This is Beatles' question, which I did kind of answer by saying it depends on the era you look at. Do you feel baseball is a better game now in 2023 than it is for, say, 1968?
Well, since I wasn't born in 1968, I really can't answer the question.
Well, this is what I was saying to Beatles. It's hard.
But I will answer the question as someone who watched baseball in the 70s and 80s and 90s with what it is now. That I can answer because I did watch baseball in the 70s with the Yankees and the Mets and the Big Red Machine and the We Are Family Pirates. I did watch baseball in the 80s as my Mets won a world title in 1986. Okay.
Mets fan.
The Tigers in 84, the Twins in 87, the Dodgers in 88. I did watch baseball in the 90s, watching Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, belting home runs to see who's going to get to 62 and 70. Okay. I did watch baseball in 2000s with the Mets and the Yankees Subway Series. The Red Sox finally breaking the curse. The White Sox getting a championship before the Cubs did. Okay. Really.
That's the golden era that you remember. Same here. Same. I'm exactly the same. I'm a
That's
Mets
my
fan.
golden era was, the 70s. And of course, I was born in 69 when the
Yeah.
Mets did win the World Series. All right.
Yeah.
But um, am I thinking baseball's a better game than it is now?
So you think it's a better game then? See, I'm the
Do I think
same
better now than
because
it is then?
I grew up watching baseball in the 80s. So for me, the 80s will always be my period. And that doesn't mean to say I can't enjoy dead ball, which I clearly was not enjoying until I met Beatles. Now I understand it. I've read the books. I kind of get it. I do like it. But the 80s will always be my first love because that caught my attention, from 1981 onwards. So I can't answer that question as to whether it's better now versus then. I just know I like the baseball I grew up with, and it has evolved.
I'm
But
not gonna say it's better, MV.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say it's better because I love baseball no matter what.
yeah,
Do I
and
have
that's fair.
do I have issues with the ghost runner rule? Yeah. Do I have issues with the note with the only two pickoffs to first? Yeah. I mean, do you think Ricky Henderson would love that rule? Ricky
Yeah,
Henderson would love the only two pickoff tries to
yeah,
first base. He would have 2,000 steals. Okay. He has 1,400 steals in his career. He'd have 2,000. Ricky Henderson would love that rule right now. He wishes he could get on the field and start stealing bases, and he probably could. Um,
but change,
I
what you race to recognize is change is inevitable anyway, and
Change is inevitable,
baseball
but
has changed so much.
oh yes, absolutely. The game has changed. First of all, pitchers don't complete games anymore. I mean, a complete game is now a rare. A
There's no
complete
such
game
thing as a
is now
complete game
should be a
anymore.
rare play in all the baseball cards and
Mm.
dice charts. It should be a rare play. As it is now.
Yeah, no,
The
I agree. I agree.
if I can get I've gotten I think maybe one or two complete games, okay, so far in this 2016 season, only because I've really tried to see if I can do it, and I've gotten a couple there. I think I had one or two go the distance. 2016, okay, even now, 2016 was 7 years ago. Right?
Yeah,
Now we're in 2023. Baseball's even different from that season now.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
2023 is different from 2016 because
But
of
it's
the new
still
rules.
baseball.
But it's still baseball. And the reason why I still say it's baseball, here's the reason why it's still baseball, is pitcher versus batter. That has not changed.
Amen,
It
brother.
won't
The
ever.
pitcher's job is to get the batter out. The batter's job is to get on base. Okay? Okay? So
Yeah,
even though we could talk about the enlarging of bases to the size of pizza boxes, okay? We can talk about the ghost runner on second. We can talk about the pitch clock or anything. What is the pitcher's job? To get the batter out. What is the batter's job? To hit the ball and get on base or bring in
get right and
runs.
score.
Hit the
Yeah,
ball over the fence. Okay? That is the number one fundamental of baseball that they have not changed, that they can't change. It is still pitcher versus batter.
batter.
That is baseball.
And
That's
do you
baseball.
feel that the reason why there's so much opposition recently, or I don't know, controversy, but resistance, is because there's been a lot of change recently, and inevitably with change, there is resistance.
Well, as what is it? Let's see here. What was it was? If you ever you ever see the movie Avengers Endgame?
Yes, I think so. Yes, yes, I have. Yeah,
Thanos, who is of course the villain, actually makes a very good statement. Okay, as long
yeah,
as there are those that remember what was, there will always be those that will be unable to accept what can be. Okay, that is a great statement from him. Okay, and it's true. Um, I think that there is, and of course, and there will be resistance. There's resistance to new stuff. Here's the thing: when you go to a baseball game, what do you see now? Okay, when I went to a baseball game, I think in the 1980s, or 1980s, or anything, you went to go see the game. But now, when you go to a baseball game, what do you see? You see everybody there. They are not watching the game. They are on their cell phones. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
all right. Nobody's there to watch the game. They may be there to be part of the game, but they're really not there to watch it, right? And and everyone's on their cell phones. If you watch World Series, a replay of a World Series game, of course, cell phones didn't exist yet. Everybody has their eyes on the field. Now I go to Marlins. I go to Lone Depot Park. I go to spring training stadiums down here in Florida. I went to Citi Field in May to go see my Mets play the Rays. And I'm watching the game. I'm having a blast. Yeah, I'm on the cell phone for a quick minute, but just by taking pictures. But I saw people that were on their cell phones watch the entire game.
That's interesting.
A single pitch. So
That's interesting.
baseball has done, and because remember also, the old guard of baseball, which I hate to say this, I guess I'm part of, and I guess Beatles Eternally will agree with me on this. The old guard, okay, we had pretty decent attention spans. We can sit there, we can watch the game, watch every pitch, watch every single play, every single ground out, fly out, home run, okay, and not get bored. Because football is right now is America's passion. You see, baseball is America's pastime, but football now is America's passion. And football is nothing but pure action throughout the entire game. And it really has gotten better with the forward pass. Because, I'll tell you, to be honest, football, okay, back in the 60s and 70s, as far as I know, people watched it, but it wasn't what it was until the 80s, when players such as Joe Montana, Dan Marino, John Elway, 4,000, 5,000-yard passing games, 1,000, 2,000 yards rushers such as Marshall Faulk.
I have no idea who these guys are.
And keep their attention because they know something's going to happen. A lot of young people now, okay, a lot of young people, right, and not the guys. Well, unfortunately, none of the guys in the chat are young, okay.
Yeah.
But you have to state that a lot, and I'm old. I know that. I'm 54.
We're all the same age.
The thing is that a lot of the young people don't have the attention span that us old guard have.
Yeah.
We can sit there, we can watch a game. They can't. They have to be on their cell phone. They have to be doing something else, okay, in order for although I will admit, I think Beatles Eternally's attention span is bad because here we are discussing this, and he's playing freaking Diamond Mine baseball on the YouTube.
Love it.
No, Big Clue. John Elway was not the henchman in the James Bond movie Moonraker named Jaws. Big Clue. You know what? I can, even though I'm talking here on Discord, I can still give you this.
Beatles, I just learned something actually. You're on Discord, I can hear you live. If you turn down your volume on YouTube, let's see what happens.
Darling, I never have. I'm trying to.
So now, but
I won't be able to hear Beatles though if
I don't.
I won't be able to hear him.
Oh, right, you can't hear him on Discord, right? Gotcha.
Beatles Eternally, listen to us anyway. He's playing Diamond Mine baseball.
I'm playing Diamond Mine baseball here because I never ever I don't have my YouTube volume on. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Never do. And right now the Phillies are leading the Twins 5-2. If anybody cares, we're having fun.
The block dragon, by the way.
Oh, I see that, the block dragon. What's that? What?
So are you doing DH Beatles Ghost Runner on?
I'm gonna.
You know what I'll take it for today?
All right, that's it. I'm taking your hammer. Where's your?
Go
where the hell's your name? I'm taking your hammer. I'm taking your hammer.
Network summed it up beautifully. It isn't just about innovation. It's about change, embracing change.
There, you're not a moderator anymore now. Now you got to earn it back.
Constant, and it has to change.
You guys can boot MV if you want.
Driven by the media, driven by demand, and the ever-changing technology that's available.
He didn't deserve that.
Oh, I might give him his wrench back by the end of all this. Oh, yeah, nice. There we go.
The Beatles, I will leave the arena. Having won the debate, I am very delighted.
Having won the debate? Are you serious? All right, I have to give him back his. I know. Hey, could you type
You're so
something there,
mean.
MV? I know. I'm a. Oh
A
wait, wait a minute.
5-minute
What's this?
timeout. He's mean.
All right,
He's
jeez.
mean.
All right. There, he's a moderator again. He's a moderator again. Jeez, you guys. I can't believe I have a heretic on here.
Clue is such a joker, man.
I
Right,
have a.
guys, I'm gonna leave you all.
Yeah,
But thank you
we
so
gotta
much,
close
Neil,
this
for
down.
having me on.
Talk to you,
Poor
MZ.
Bernard.
You are,
Bernard wanted a tutorial on
Two
baseball for
heretics, because RGL
Windows.
plays Ghost Runner on second.
Well, that's what I said. But no, but so here's, if you look at heresies, now I'm going to look at this from an Orthodox and Catholic position. Okay, so Big Clue, or I mean, so I'm sorry. So Robert is a Lutheran. Okay, you are one of those Word of Faith heretics, dude. MV. So there's different levels of heresy here. Okay, Robert's a Lutheran. He's okay. He's Catholic light, right? Looking at this from historical Christian perspective, you, dude, should be burned at the stake for
No, I'm
your
Jewish.
shenanigans. Well, you're Jewish and you're fine, but you know what I'm saying? MV, you should be burned at the stake. Disembowel. Did you saw the movie Braveheart? That is nothing compared to what should happen to you, my friend.
Okay, I guess I'm a fine Jew. I'll take it.
Anyhow,
Take it.
Robert, thanks for coming on, guys. Thank you, MV. We will, I'm sure, continue this at another time. I came home with the intention of doing a quick tutorial, and I was going to have a shower and all this. I have a
Having
thing
timeout.
coming up, working
Thanks, Beatles. Thank you so much.
working something really
Yeah.
nice tomorrow. If I get this
Yeah,
thing,
take care, guys.
I'll be back to working with animals again. So that's what I'm hoping for. Anyhow, guys, thank you very much, Robert. It was a real treat to have you on here tonight. I know this was your night off from baseball, but thank you. And MV, we're going to continue this. So let's see my thank yous here to Big Clue, to Joe Murdy, to Robert and the Block Dragon. Don't forget, tomorrow night, All-Star Game on RGO Network at Petco Park, 2016 season. Don't miss it, guys. 8 p.m. Eastern. Let me see who we got. Dwayne Mart's YouTube network, who hopefully is going to be doing something soon. Cousin Ken, congrats on the no-hitter tonight for your Phillies. All right, Robert, thank you. Bernard, mea culpa, but your tutorial's like the middle hour. Texags, thank you, buddy, very much. I know I'm not going to get everybody here, but I'm going to try my best. Legend Sports Universe, either a game tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully that'll be tonight. Have we anyone else in here? Robbie Wartberg, thank you for doing some heavy lifting for us tonight and getting the Discord out there. Bernard, again, I'm so sorry. MV, MV, yeah, mate. You're a tosser, but you're always welcome. And first one, actually, I don't even know who was first in the ballpark tonight. I have no idea. So there we go. So nobody wins the bobblehead doll tonight. All right, Texag says, interesting broadcast. My favorite era of baseball, 1950 to 86, and his recent interest in dead ball. Go Cubs. Guys, thank you very much. And be on Friday night to do something. And then Saturday is the Shanks draft. Friday's the Shanks draft. And then maybe a game from 1934, depending. And then Saturday afternoon, maybe another game from somewhere. So thank you. Big Clue, we got to get you on next time. It was certainly a lot of fun. Get Cousin Ken on the mic here as he's ready for an 1889 matchup. So, guys, thank you. This really meant a lot to have everybody. I've missed you guys past few days. Still not going to be on very much, but this was a treat. So until I see you around the batting cage, and love baseball, innovations or not. All right, guys. You're good. Big Clue. We're going to finish it with... He says he's going to turn up the grill and burn MV and effigy while he eats his steak. Good night, gentlemen.